The campus belle gave birth to triplets at the beginning. Zhang Hao, I've had your baby triplets. What? Zhang Hao looked at the beautiful campus belle in front of him, stunned. Although he couldn't believe it, after doing a paternity test and seeing a 99.99% DNA match, it was directly confirmed. But unfortunately, his family had fallen on hard times. He went from being a wealthy second generation to being in debt. He could barely support himself, let alone 3 adorable babies and their beautiful mother. What should I do? Chapter 1, Paternity Test. Zhang Hao, you don't deserve me. Let's break up. On the playground of Haicheng Economic and Trade College, a vibrant girl said coldly to a boy. Break up. Confused, the boy slowly took out a pack of cigarettes, lit one, and put it in his mouth. Although the girl, Wang Yao Yao, was the campus belle, he never pursued her. She had always been the one chasing him. Yes. Wang Yao Yao declared decisively, I have a new boyfriend now, it's a Y. With that, she gazed affectionately at the slightly chubby boy next to her, linking arms with him. A Y, dressed in Armani and sporting a Rolex, exuded arrogance as if looking down on everyone. Zhang. A Y sneered, I suggest you stay away from Yao Yao in the future, or don't blame me for being rude. Do you think you're still the same Zhang Shao? Now you're just a broke loser, he continued, boasting, believe it or not, I can send you to the ICU with a single call. His eyes burned with anger as he glared at Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao calmly took a drag from his cigarette and replied, impotent, have you forgotten how you used to cater to me? Now you dare to act tough in front of me? Are you living too well? With that, he flicked his cigarette at a Y. How dare you? A Y dodged while clenching his fists, itching to hit Zhang Hao but too scared to act. At that moment, a beautiful figure entered the playground, causing whispers among the crowd. Look, who is that beauty? Definitely not from our school. We call our school Jurassic University, it's filled with dinosaurs. I know. She's the belle from the normal university. What's her name? Oh, Su Yuyan? All eyes turned to Su Yuyan as the girls expressed envy and the boys began to fantasize. Zhang Hao, too, turned to look at her and was suddenly struck by shock. It's her? A long-buried memory flooded back. About a year ago, he had partied with some rich kids, got drunk, and woke up the next day in a hotel, having had a beautiful encounter with a stunning girl. And that girl was Su Yuyan. At the same time, Su Yuyan spotted Zhang Hao, biting her lip seriously as she approached him. Then, she said something that left him utterly shocked. I had a baby, it's yours. What? Zhang Hao stared blankly but then burst into laughter. Beauty, you can't be serious with jokes like that. With your slim figure, you don't look like someone who's had a baby. He recalled they hadn't used protection, but he was sure she hadn't given birth. Even if she did, it couldn't be his, as that incident had been a year and a half ago. Why was she just now showing up? Come on, I know you don't believe me. Follow me. With that, Su Yuyan turned and left. Zhang Hao frowned but ultimately followed her. He had indeed been with her, and even a 1 in a million chance of the child being his warranted checking it out. After all, having a child was serious business. If it truly was his, he needed to take responsibility. Su Yuyan and Zhang Hao walked out of the playground, and the students began to chatter. No way, did I hear that right? Goddess Su had Zhang Shao's baby. What's surprising about that? Zhang Shao was one of the 4 young masters of Haicheng, with a family fortune in the billions. He could have anyone, even celebrity goddesses. If I were that rich, I'd play even harder. I heard Goddess Su is also a rich kid. I follow her on Kuaishou. She lives in a big villa and travels abroad, driving cars worth millions. Minutes later, Zhang Hao followed Su Yuyan to an older residential area, far from the bustling streets. Su Yuyan led the way to room 302, unlocking the door with a key from her bag. Come in. Okay. Zhang Hao nodded and entered, surveying the simple yet clean 2-bedroom apartment. A strange smell, reminiscent of milk, wafted through the air. Just then, a friendly voice came from the bedroom. Xiaosu, you're back so early. A middle-aged woman in an apron walked out, smiling kindly. Yes. Su Yuyan nodded slightly. Auntie, are the babies awake? The woman replied, not yet. I just fed them and rocked them to sleep. Thank you for your hard work. After that, Su Yuyan glanced at Zhang Hao and walked into the bedroom. Zhang Hao followed, feeling inexplicably anxious. As he reached the bedroom door, he froze. On the bed lay three babies, peacefully sleeping side by side, their chubby faces adorable. Zhang Hao blinked in disbelief. Ding! Host has encountered the babies. Super Dad system activating. Suddenly, an ethereal voice echoed in Zhang Hao's mind. He froze for a moment, scanning the room for the source but saw nothing. What are you standing at the door for? Come in. Su Yuyan's gentle voice pulled him back. Zhang Hao nodded, still astonished, and asked, Beauty, did you really give birth to all three? It felt rude to ask, but he was too shocked. After all, twins were rare, let alone triplets. Yes. Su Yuyan replied, a bit annoyed. To be precise, they are your children too. If you don't believe me, we can do a paternity test. A paternity test. Zhang Hao's heart stirred. That was true, a paternity test would confirm if the children were his. All right, let's go. Zhang Hao agreed decisively. Go. Su Yuyan furrowed her brows. Where to? You said we need to do a paternity test, right? I'll call a cab and take the babies with us. Su Yuyan explained, you don't need to take the babies. Just bring some of their hair or nails. With that, she picked up a small pair of scissors from the table and carefully snipped a lock of hair from each baby, handing it to Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao glanced at the hair, turned, and walked out without a word. Minutes later, he arrived at the paternity testing center. After submitting the baby's hair along with his own, they began waiting for the results. After a long wait, a staff member called out from the lab, Zhang Hao, Zhao Gang, your test results are ready. Zhang Hao excitedly entered the lab, followed closely by a young couple. Seeing a test result on the table, Zhang Hao picked it up and examined it. DNA match rate, 68.8%. Heh. Zhang Hao breathed a sigh of relief, laughing. I told you the child isn't mine, just a false alarm. With that, he turned to leave, but then the staff called out. Zhang Hao, you took the wrong one, that's theirs. These three are yours. Huh. Zhang Hao froze, his heart racing. He quickly returned to the table, picked up the other three results, and suddenly his face went pale. Chapter 2 Super Daddy System. Dan matching rate, 99.99%. Zhang Hao was petrified when he saw the test results. Although it was unbelievable, the facts were in front of him and he had to believe it. The three babies were indeed his own flesh and blood. At the same time, the man in the couple saw his test results and was furious. You are so good, you dare to cheat on me. I have been so good to you, the house and car are all in your name, and you actually let me be a father. Divorce. The woman cried with tears in her eyes, I was wrong, husband, please forgive me this time. I swear, I will not have a child unless it is yours in the future. Zhang Hao did not want to witness the farce, and left with the three test results. After more than 10 minutes, he returned to Su Yuyan's house. On their way back, he was full of thoughts. I didn't expect to become a father suddenly, and the key is three babies. If it were in the past, let alone three babies, even 10 or 30 babies could be raised. However, something happened to his family a month ago, and he went from being a rich second generation with a fortune of hundreds of billions to being a penniless loser. The car and house under his name were sold to pay off the family debt. However, the more than 20 million was less than 1% of the huge debt. As for his father and mother, they suddenly disappeared and could not be contacted. G. Tilder. The door suddenly opened, and the nanny came out with a garbage bag. Seeing Zhang Hao, the nanny was stunned for a moment, then smiled. Young man, you are back. The nanny greeted him enthusiastically. Yeah. Zhang Hao smiled and nodded. Auntie, are you going to throw away the garbage? The nanny smiled kindly and said, yes, Xiaosu is in the room, you go. After speaking, she passed by Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao adjusted his mood, took a deep breath and walked in. But when he reached the door of the bedroom, he quickly leaned against the wall. Su Yuyan was feeding a baby, revealing a white face. However, at this moment, the ethereal voice appeared again. Ding, change the diapers for the three babies. You can get a reward of 10,000 yuan after completing the task. Zhang Hao was startled, wondering why he had auditory hallucinations again. Host, this is not an auditory hallucination, but my voice. Who? Zhang Hao quickly looked around, looking like he had seen a ghost. But when he looked through the living room, he found that there was no one. Host, I am the system attached to your body. Next, I will randomly assign tasks to you. You can get rewards after completing them. Zhang Hao's heart skipped a beat. This voice is very real, definitely not an auditory hallucination. System. Super Daddy System. Suddenly, Zhang Hao thought of the first time he saw the baby, and this was the voice that rang in his mind. Just complete the task and you can get a reward. Is it true or not? Wow tilde. Suddenly, a baby's cry came from the bedroom. Zhang Hao, who heard the crying, suddenly felt distressed. Is this fatherly love? Just then, Su Yuyan's voice came into his ears. I know you are outside. Can you change Sanbao's diaper? It's inconvenient for me. Oh, here it comes. Zhang Hao walked into the bedroom with his head held high and saw Su Yuyan standing in the corner with her back to the door. Wow tilde. The crying of the baby made Zhang Hao not think too much. But when he came to the bed and stood in front of the baby, he suddenly got into trouble. Diaper? How to change it? I haven't changed it before. Just when Zhang Hao was at a loss, the voice of the system sounded. Host, I can teach you how to change diapers. After their voice fell, a picture appeared in his mind, which was a detailed tutorial on changing diapers. When Zhang Hao learned it, he immediately stretched out his hands and changed Sanbao's diaper very skillfully. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the task of changing diapers, and the bonus of 10,000 has been received. Master, a text message came. The SMS notification sound set by Zhang Hao rang. He took out his mobile phone and opened the message. He suddenly raised his eyebrows and stared with an expression of disbelief. Your card with the last number 8888 received 10,000 yuan, and the balance is 19,527.66 yuan. It was true. Seeing the change in the bank balance, Zhang Hao believed it completely. The Super Daddy system is not a lie. After all, who would be so kind to transfer 10,000 yuan to himself? Friends in the past? Absolutely not. Those so-called brothers, when they learned that something happened to him, avoided him like a plague god. It really fits the saying, brotherhood is in your heart, and you can't get through the phone if something happens. Just then, a gentle voice rang. Since you have done a paternity test, you believe that the baby is yours now? Yes. Zhang Hao nodded seriously. Since the children are my own, I will be responsible for the babies, and at the same time including you. Because when I became the father of the child, I also gained another identity, the husband of the child's mother. Although all this happened abruptly, I will never avoid what I have to face. Su Yuyan nodded slightly, and suddenly felt warm in her heart. Actually, I didn't plan to trouble you. After all, it was just an accident a year ago. If I wasn't in financial difficulty now, I wouldn't have come to you. If possible, I hope you can support me financially, and don't worry about the rest. Hearing this, Zhang Hao was immediately unhappy. What do you mean I don't have to worry? I'm the child's biological father. From now on, I will be responsible for you and the baby, and I will support you in the future. Although I don't have money now, didn't I just get a magical system? You can get rewards by completing tasks, so why worry about not making money? Just thinking about it, the voice of the system suddenly appeared again. Ding, name 3 babies, and you can get a reward of 30,000 by completing the task. Huh? So fast. Zhang Hao looked surprised. He didn't expect that he had just completed a task and another task came so soon. The interval between the 2 tasks was only a few minutes. At this rate, wouldn't it be possible to make millions a day? In excitement, he turned his head to look at Su Yuyan. Although she frowned slightly and seemed to be hesitant to speak, he still asked directly, have you named the 3 babies? Su Yuyan's expression changed slightly, and she shook her head and said, not yet. Okay, can I name the babies? After all, Su Yuyan is the mother of the children, and we should follow her ideas. Because giving birth to a child only takes a few minutes for a man. And a woman is pregnant for 10 months and endures the pain of childbirth, which can be said to be very great. The point is still the triplets, it is hard to imagine how much pain she needs to endure. Okay, you name the babies. Su Yuyan agreed, and swallowed back some of the words she wanted to say. Although she didn't want Zhang Hao to be responsible, she was in a dilemma now, so she could only agree to his help. At this time, Zhang Hao looked at the 3 cute babies and thought about what name would be better. But thinking about it, he suddenly realized that he had overlooked something. That is, we still don't know whether the three babies are sons or daughters. By the way, are the three babies boys or girls? Who is the oldest and who is the youngest? After their words fell, Su Yuyan gave the answer. The one I am holding is the eldest, the one lying on the left is the second, and the one on the right is the third. All three of them are girls. Zhang Hao's expression moved slightly, and he blurted out a sentence. So none of them have a penis. Chapter 3. These three names are perfect. What do you think? Su Yuyan looked unhappy, with resentment in her beautiful eyes. What era is this? There is still the old idea of favoring boys over girls. Don't you know that girls are the most popular now? Nothing. Zhang Hao smiled lightly. I just want to know the gender and decide what name to give them. After he finished speaking, his eyes fell on the petite bodies of Erbao and Sanbao. The next moment, Zhang Hao was suddenly stunned. The two babies were awake at this time, looking at him with innocent eyes. The chubby little face was as white as milk. The white and tender skin seemed to be able to squeeze out water. Especially the little hands and feet, which were less than half of the palm. This is too cute. Instantly, Zhang Hao's heart melted. I got it. Zhang Hao suddenly had a flash of inspiration and thought of three names. Since the three babies are so cute, let's call them really cute. The first baby is Zhangzhen, the second baby is Zhangku, and the third baby is Zhangari. Well, it sounds pretty good. Hearing these three names, Su Yuyan on the side suddenly frowned. Really cute. Zhang Hao thought of it. This is too casual. But if you think about it carefully, it seems to be pretty good. While thinking, he felt that the first baby was full and pulled down his clothes. At the same time, Zhang Hao smiled and looked quite accomplished. However, the next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding, mission failed, it's too easy to name the baby. Zhang Hao couldn't help but be stunned. Such a creative name was not recognized by the system. It seems that it is not so easy to complete the task and get the reward. So, Zhang Hao racked his brains to continue thinking. It can't be too simple, it must be more profound. And it must be very appropriate for the three babies. Since they are triplets. Thinking of this, Zhang Hao suddenly got another inspiration, and then took out his mobile phone to search on the internet. After a while, three perfect names were born. The eldest baby is Zhangshen, and the word Shen symbolizes wealth. The second baby is Zhangmiao, and the word miao means that the sea embraces all rivers and strives for self-improvement. The third baby is Zhangjing, and the word jing is the crystallization of love, which means very precious. The point is that the babies are triplets, and the names are composed of three identical characters, which can be said to be very appropriate. As soon as their voice fell, the voice of the system sounded. Ding, congratulations to their host for completing the task of naming the baby, and the 30,000 bonus has been received. Master, a text message has come. Hearing the text message prompt, Zhang Hao immediately showed a look of joy. But what made him happy was not the 30,000 yuan, but the magical system. More importantly, he gave the three babies satisfactory names. I felt a sense of accomplishment. However, at this moment, I suddenly realized that I had not asked Su Yuyan for her opinion. What do you think of the name I gave the baby? Is it okay? Yeah. Su Yuyan smiled and nodded with satisfaction. The word composed of three identical characters is very suitable for the three babies. She didn't expect Zhang Hao's literary skills to be so solid. For a moment, the look in her eyes when she looked at Zhang Hao changed, and there was a little more admiration. Ding ding ding. Suddenly, the WeChat call notification sounded. The sound came from Zhang Hao's pocket. Zhang Hao quickly took out his mobile phone, because Erbao and Sanbao were sleeping, so he didn't want to wake them up again. Looking at the screen, he found that it was a video call from Zhao Yang, his roommate and deskmate. Why is this idiot calling? Zhang Hao was puzzled. Unlike those friends who only drink and eat, Zhao Yang and Zhao Yang can be said to have the simplest friendship. At the same time, he is also one of the few friends in school. Even though he is down and out now, it has not affected their friendship. What's more interesting is that his Trump accent is humorous. While thinking, he answered the video call and a simple face came into view. Hey, Howsy, class is about to start, where are you? Zhang Hao smiled, I'm outside, can you ask for leave for me? Ask for leave. Zhao Yong on the screen raised his eyebrows and glared. Next is Master Mihu's class, you dare to ask for leave. The last student who asked for leave was directly punished to clean the toilet for a week. Do you want to clean the toilet too? Zhang Hao smiled, and without waiting for a response, he saw Zhao Yong continue to speak in surprise. By the way, Haozi, I heard that the goddess Su from the normal university found you and said that she gave birth to a little mouse for you. Is this true or not? How do you know? Zhang Hao frowned slightly, thinking that Zhao Yong, who has a straight character, is not the kind of person who likes gossip. Oh my god, this has spread all over the school. Don't talk about me, even the old man who guards the door knows about it. Tell me quickly, is this true? After speaking, Zhao Yong looked expectant, wishing he could travel directly through the phone. It's true. Zhang Hao replied seriously. After all, this is not something shameful, and it's too late to be happy. What's there to hide? TSK. I don't believe it. Zhao Yong on the screen smiled and shook his head. Zhang Hao was too lazy to waste words with this guy, and turned the camera directly. The next moment, the two babies were lying on the bed, and Su Yuyan leaned over to put Dabao slowly on the bed. With Zhang Hao's smiling face, a warm picture appeared on the screen. At this time, Zhao Yong was stunned for a few seconds, and then exclaimed. Oh my god! Everyone, come and see, the gossip about Haozi is true. Goddess Su really gave Haozi 3 babies. Yes, 3. After saying that, Zhao Yong in the classroom raised his phone, and soon more than a dozen faces appeared behind him. Oh my god! It's really Goddess Su. No way. She gave birth to 3 babies. It really blinded my 24K titanium alloy dog eyes. Young Master Zhang is so awesome, you are my role model. Zhang Hao's face was immediately blackened when he saw this. However, at this moment, a baby's cry sounded. Wow tilde wow tilde. Zhang Hao looked at the screen and found that Sanbao had woken up, so he ended the call directly. Seeing Sanbao clenched his little hands, closed his eyes and cried hard, he felt a little distressed. At this time, Su Yuyan quickly picked up Sanbao, gently rocked him and hummed to comfort him. Zhang Hao said, Is the baby hungry? Feed the baby, I'll go out. He turned and walked towards the door. But just as he took a step, Su Yuyan's voice came from behind him. Wait a minute, please make a bottle of milk powder. Milk powder? Zhang Hao asked in confusion, why don't you just feed the baby? Because. Su Yuyan looked embarrassed. Then she shook her lips and said, because there are 3 babies, there is not enough to eat. Not enough to eat. Zhang Hao was a little confused, his eyes fell on a certain place involuntarily, thinking that it looked not small. Ding tilde. Suddenly, the system sounded. Chapter for Sissy. Ding, feed Sanbao milk powder, complete the task and you can get a bonus of 10,000. Zhang Hao's expression moved slightly. I didn't expect another task to come so soon, and it was so simple. Don't look at it. Su Yuyan frowned and said, can you make milk powder for Sanbao first? It's not good for the baby's throat if he keeps crying. Yes. Zhang Hao smiled and nodded. Seeing milk powder and milk bottles on the table next to him, he moved over. At this time, Su Yuyan reminded him, there are instructions on the milk powder can. 1 level spoon of milk powder, add 30 milliliters of warm water, and add 6 spoons of milk powder. The thermos contains warm water. It's best to cool it down with cold water after mixing. Zhang Hao nodded and kept this method in mind. But when he came to the table and opened the milk powder can, he found that the milk powder had run out. Not to mention 6 spoons, even 3 spoons were not enough. The milk powder is gone. Do you have a whole can? No, this is the last can. I'll go buy some later. Hearing the response, Zhang Hao smiled and said, I'll go. I'll make this little milk powder first to fill Sanbao's stomach. After saying that, he started to make the milk powder. After making it, he felt that the bottle was indeed a little hot to the touch, so he used cold water to cool it down. I'll feed Sanbao milk powder. Back in the bedroom, Zhang Hao volunteered. One is that he must feed Sanbao in person to get a bonus of 10,000 yuan. Another is that he wants to hold Sanbao. This small body must be very comfortable to hold in his arms. Just thinking about it makes me excited. But at this moment, Su Yuyan politely refused. Let me do it. You haven't held a baby before, so you don't know how to hold it. The baby is still young, and his bones are in the development stage. If he doesn't feel comfortable holding it, the baby will keep crying. Zhang Hao's expression moved slightly. He didn't expect that holding a child is so particular. However, even so, there is still a way to complete the task. Why don't you put Sanbao on the bed and I'll feed her? No, she will cry even harder if she's on the bed. Give me the milk powder. Su Yuyan stretched out her jade hand to Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao immediately handed over the bottle. Because Sanbao was indeed crying even harder, even out of breath, which was heartbreaking. As for the task, just stand aside. No matter how much money the reward is, it's not as important as my baby daughter. Then, the moment Su Yuyan put the pacifier into Sanbao's mouth, Sanbao immediately calmed down. The little mouth smacked and began to drink milk in big gulps. And the half bottle of milk in the bottle was reduced at a speed visible to the naked eye. By the way, I'll go buy milk powder. Thinking of American milk powder, Zhang Hao turned around and left quickly. If Dabao and Erbao woke up, wouldn't they be hungry? I'll go. Su Yuyan spoke quickly, thinking how could she let Zhang Hao spend money. Although he was the baby's father, they had just met and were somewhat embarrassed. It's okay, I'll be back soon. Zhang Hao replied without turning his head. When he walked out of the bedroom, he saw the nanny standing outside the door with a smile on her face. And it seemed that she had been standing there for a long time. But why didn't the nanny go in? In his thoughts, Zhang Hao smiled as a greeting and walked quickly to the door of the living room. Although he was unfamiliar with this place, when he came, he found that there was a maternity and baby store not far from the entrance of the community, where milk powder was sold. Boss, give me a can of Chinher brand milk powder. Zhang Hao clearly remembered that the milk powder that the baby drank was of this brand. Okay. The shop owner was a beautiful young woman. She took a can of milk powder from the shelf and said, $3.58. Yeah. Zhang Hao nodded and took out his mobile phone to scan the code, but suddenly stopped. Since there are 3 babies, 1 can of milk powder may not be enough for one day. Yeah, take 10 cans. 10 cans. The beautiful shop owner was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, "Little handsome boy, you don't need to buy so much. You can tell from your new father that you have no experience in taking care of babies. Take 1 can first, and come back to get it when the baby finishes drinking." Zhang Hao smiled and said something that surprised the beautiful shop owner. 1 can is not enough, because I have 3 babies. R. The beautiful shop owner opened her mouth in surprise. But the next moment, she suddenly understood something. Little handsome boy, so you are Yuyan's husband? Yeah. Zhang Hao smiled and nodded, not too surprised. After all, triplets are very rare. I'm afraid that no one in this community doesn't know Su Yuyan. Oh, I thought, who would usually take so much milk powder at one time? It's not easy for you to raise 3 babies, so I'll give you a discount on the price. After she finished speaking, the beautiful shop owner took out 2 boxes of milk powder from the room inside. There are 6 cans of milk powder in each box, and 2 cans were taken out of a box. $35.80 for 10 cans of milk powder, just give $3,500. Zhang Hao took out his mobile phone and scanned 3,580 directly. Although he won a bonus of 50,000 with the Super Dad system. But even if he didn't, he wouldn't take advantage of it. This is a matter of principle. After paying the bill, he walked out of the maternity and baby store with the milk powder. Boom tilde boom tilde. Just when Zhang Hao was about to reach the gate of the community, the roar of a sports car suddenly came from behind him. And the sound was approaching quickly. Frowning, he saw a red Lamborghini suddenly stopped beside him. The car window slowly lowered, revealing a handsome face with soared eyebrows and starry eyes. Although the boy was handsome, he had yellow hair and a look of disdain in his eyes. The boy said in a sarcastic tone, "Hey Tilder, isn't this our famous Zhang Hao? What? Are you so poor that you live in such a rubbish community? You have to walk to get a package. Do you want me to buy you a bicycle for a few hundred yuan? He Tilder." After he finished speaking, he laughed sarcastically and even covered his mouth with his hand. Zhang Hao frowned slightly with a contemptuous expression. He was not angry, but disgusted. The boy's name was Su Huairo. Although he had a man's body, he had a woman's heart. He was a typical sissy. When I met with those second-generation rich people before, I only met this guy a few times. He was not even a drinking buddy. You sissy. Zhang Hao replied bluntly, whose pigpen collapsed and let you out. You are grown man, but you are treated like a sissy. Su Huairo, whose pain point was touched, was furious, with eyes wide open and full of anger. But when he spoke, he made a shrill voice. Who are you calling a sissy? Your whole family is a sissy. Hearing this, Zhang Hao was immediately unhappy. No matter what he said, he was fine, but if it involved his parents, he would never forgive him. But when he was about to put down the milk powder to teach this sissy a lesson, he suddenly thought of the babies at home who were crying for food. Sanbao is still waiting for milk. If Dabao and Erbao wake up, they will definitely cry without milk. I won't bother with you this time, I'll talk about it next time. After saying that, he carried the milk powder to the gate of the community. As for Su Huairo, she put her hands on her hips and looked at Zhang Hao's back with resentment. Fuck, I'm so pissed off. Chapter 5. Are there any skill rewards? Wow tilde. Sure enough, Zhang Hao just returned home and heard the baby crying in the bedroom. The crying was so heartbreaking that it was heartbreaking to hear. Baby, don't cry, daddy will poop. Zhang Hao hurriedly took the milk powder and walked into the bedroom. Su Yuyan frowned and said, why did you take so long? She was not complaining, but was anxious because the baby kept crying. Don't mention it. I met a sissy when I came back. If I wasn't in a hurry to come back, I would have taught him a lesson. As he said that, Zhang Hao immediately took out a can of milk powder and started to make it. Sissy. Su Yuyan's expression moved slightly, and she looked thoughtful. Yeah. Zhang Hao responded casually, and then asked, I just made 3 spoons of milk powder. Should I make another 3 spoons now? Yes. Su Yuyan nodded, and saw that Zhang Hao bought so much milk powder at once, moved her lips but didn't say anything. Although I wanted to give him the money for milk powder, I knew he would definitely not take it. While thinking, looking at the generous back, a sense of security came to me. Soon, Zhang Hao filled the milk powder. When Sanbao got the bottle, he calmed down and began to drink milk in big gulps. Perhaps he was tired and fell asleep before he finished drinking the milk. Su Yuyan wiped the milk from the corner of Sanbao's mouth with a tissue, gently put it on the bed, and patted it gently with her hands. Zhang Hao, who saw this scene, smiled with relief. Although his wife and baby appeared suddenly, they were in a warm state now. Xiaosu. At this time, the nanny said softly, it's 5 o'clock, I should get off work, I will come again tomorrow morning. Yeah. Su Yuyan nodded slightly, and when she suddenly thought of something, she suddenly looked embarrassed. Auntie, I should have paid you today, but my salary hasn't arrived yet. Can I pay you in 2 days? Of course. The nanny smiled kindly, I know it's not easy for you to take care of 3 babies. The salary is easy to talk about. Then I'll leave first. After saying that, she smiled and nodded at Zhang Hao, turned and walked towards the door. Wait a minute. Zhang Hao stopped the nanny, how much is your salary? I'll give it to you. Su Yuyan's expression changed slightly when she heard it, and she immediately rejected Zhang Hao's kindness. After all, he bought so much milk powder and spent a lot of money, how could he let him pay the nanny? But before she could open her mouth, she heard the nanny agreed. Okay, 5,006. Zhang Hao nodded, took out his mobile phone and said, I'll scan it for you through WeChat. Yes. The nanny took out her mobile phone and opened the WeChat payment code. Su Yuyan on the bed was a little confused. She didn't expect the nanny to agree so readily. Because I and the nanny have different salary dates, I always give her money after playing for a few days, but she never has any objection. And now she takes the initiative to take Zhang Hao's money. Although confused, she didn't say anything, after all, it was what the nanny deserved. As for Zhang Hao's money, I will give it to him after I get paid. WeChat payment, 5,600 yuan. Hearing the receipt notification, the nanny smiled faintly and said, thank you, Xiao Zhang. By the way, are you a local in Haicheng? What do you do? What does your family do? Hearing the nanny checking the household registration, Zhang Hao frowned slightly. It seems that the nanny shouldn't ask such private questions. Oh? The nanny smiled unnaturally and said, don't get me wrong, I just want to understand your situation and see if you have time to come and take care of the baby. Well, I'll leave first, see you tomorrow. After that, she turned around and left. And when she left, she took a photo of Zhang Hao while he was not paying attention. I'll transfer the money to you after I get paid. Seeing the nanny leave, Su Yuyan said to Zhang Hao. Although she felt that the nanny was a little strange today, she didn't care too much. No need. Zhang Hao smiled and waved his hand. You are the mother of the child, I am the father of the child. What do you mean by yours and mine? I said before that I will take care of you and the baby in the future. After saying that, he moved to sit on the bed, looking at the three cute babies, with a deeper smile on his face. Su Yuyan remained silent, but her heart was full of thoughts. Although she found Zhang Hao and thought about the future. But for now, she always felt strange in her heart. Even though they had a close relationship, she was very unfamiliar with him. For a moment, all her thoughts were disrupted by reality. While thinking, she glanced at the clock hanging on the wall and found that it was time for dinner. That you watch the baby first. If you cry, call me. I'll go to the kitchen to cook, you can eat before you leave. As she said that, she got out of bed and walked towards the door. Don't bother. Zhang Hao smiled faintly. Why don't you just order takeout? What do you want to eat? While asking, he took out his mobile phone and opened Meituan Takeout. Forget it, I'll go cook. Su Yuyan declined politely, because I still have to make some food for the babies. They are almost 7 months old. You can add some vegetable puree and meat puree appropriately to fully supplement their nutrition. Zhang Hao nodded. I thought the baby was so young that he could only drink milk, but I didn't expect that he could eat other things. Ding tilde. Suddenly, the voice of the system sounded in my mind. Ding, make mashed potatoes for the baby. Complete the task and you can get a bonus of 30,000. Zhang Hao frowned immediately after hearing it. Although the task came, it also brought difficulties, because he didn't know how to cook at all. When I have money, I have a big meal every day, and when I don't have money, I have fast food every day. The only thing I can do is to make instant noodles. Just when Zhang Hao was helpless, the voice of the system appeared again. It is detected that the host can't cook. Do you want to activate the super cooking skill? Zhang Hao was stunned. Super cooking skill? What the hell? Is there a skill reward in addition to the monetary reward? Activate. Zhang Hao agreed decisively. In an instant, a lot of cooking knowledge quickly emerged in his mind. At the same time, he also felt that his body had changed and became stronger. At this time, Su Yuyan was washing vegetables in the kitchen. Just after putting the washed potatoes on the cutting board, footsteps came from behind. Looking back, it was Zhang Hao who came in. Is the baby awake? Zhang Hao smiled and shook his head. No, I'll cook. You? Su Yuyan asked, can you cook? Although she didn't know Zhang Hao, she thought he couldn't cook. Because few young people can cook now. Even I can only make some simple home-cooked dishes. I should be able to. Zhang Hao said a little unconfidently. Although I activated the super cooking skill, I have no practical experience, so I am not sure if I can do it. Forget it, you should just look after the baby, I will cook. Although it is not as good as the taste of the restaurant, it is not much different. After saying that, I picked up the kitchen knife and prepared to cut the vegetables. But at this moment, I saw Zhang Hao came to my side and took the kitchen knife very domineeringly. Let me do it. You are so beautiful, the smoke is not good for your skin. Hearing this, Su Yuyan's ears and face suddenly turned red, and her heart was warm at the same time. But then again, can he really cook? At this time, Zhang Hao held the kitchen knife in his right hand, pressed the potato with his left hand, took a deep breath, and started cutting. Da. It was like a sound like a machine gun firing bullets. And Zhang Hao's right hand was so fast that only the afterimage could be seen. In less than 10 seconds, a whole potato turned into potato shreds. And each shred was cut very evenly. Su Yuyan on the side was stunned. This hand speed is too fast. Chapter 6 Understanding the Situation. I didn't expect you to be so good at knife skills. Have you worked as a chef before? Su Yuyan opened her mouth in surprise. If she hadn't worked as a chef, how could she have such skills? Yeah. Zhang Hao nodded in approval. Because the super daddy system is so magical, no one would believe it if you said it, and you would be considered mentally ill. Su Yuyan nodded slightly, saw the shredded potatoes on the chopping board, and walked over with the vegetable basket. Let me help you wash the vegetables. No. Zhang Hao hurriedly said, "Don't do it, I'll do it. It's okay." Su Yuyan smiled and said, "It just so happens that the babies are all sleeping, I can't let you do it alone." Zhang Hao smiled and stopped persuading, and directly agreed. Looking at the silhouette of Su Yuyan washing vegetables and smelling the smell of fireworks in the kitchen, I suddenly felt a warm feeling at home. As the saying goes, men and women work together without getting tired. After a lot of hard work, a sumptuous dinner was made in less than half an hour. Scrambled eggs with tomatoes, spicy and sour potato shreds, braised pork, simple home-cooked dishes. Of course, there are also vegetable purees for the baby. Wow tilde. Just when Zhang Hao brought the dishes to the table, he suddenly heard the baby crying. Seeing Su Yuyan, who was serving rice, put down the spoon, he hurriedly said, "You eat first, I'll go over and take a look." As he said, he immediately stepped out of the kitchen. At this time, Su Yuyan also hurriedly followed him out. When he returned to the bedroom, he found that not only Dabao was awake, but Erbao was also awake. The two babies waved their little arms randomly, closed their eyes and cried loudly. Although the crying was loud, it sounded like the sound of nature in Zhang Hao's ears. As for Sanbao, he was not affected by the crying at all and continued to sleep quietly. "Baby, don't cry. Daddy is here." Zhang Hao spoke softly, first glanced at the diaper, and found that it was not urinated according to the display bar. At this time, Su Yuyan walked in. "The babies are hungry, you go to make milk powder, I will comfort the children." After saying that, he picked up Dabao with one hand and Sanbao with the other hand, and hummed softly while shaking them slightly. Zhang Hao smiled and nodded, walked to the table and started to make milk powder. He made 2 bottles of milk powder according to the golden ratio, cooled them with cold water, and put them in the hands of Dabao and Erbao respectively. Dabao and Erbao, who got the milk bottles, stopped crying immediately and drank milk in big gulps. But as they drank, Dabao and Erbao's hands began to be dishonest, and they reached into Su Yuyan's collar with ease. Su Yuyan blushed immediately. This would be nothing if it was put in normal times, after all, this is the baby's hobby. But now Zhang Hao was standing opposite him, staring at him, and suddenly he felt embarrassed. "What are you looking at? Haven't you seen it before?" Su Yuyan said angrily. Zhang Hao smiled and said, "Oh, I forgot. You?" Su Yuyan raised her eyebrows and stared, and turned away directly. Zhang Hao smiled and shook his head, thinking that this little girl was too cute. However, at this moment, the voice of the system suddenly sounded in his mind. "Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the task of feeding the baby, and the bonus of 10,000 has been received." Master, a text message came. Hearing the text message prompt, Zhang Hao's expression moved slightly. In less than a day, he received a bonus of 50,000. This system is amazing. Not only that, after completing the task of feeding the baby mashed potatoes, he can get another bonus of 30,000. This is not a super dad system, it is a super money making system. At this time, Su Yuyan said with her back to him, "Go eat first, otherwise it will get cold." After the baby finishes drinking milk, he will definitely continue to sleep. "It's okay, let's eat together later." Hearing Zhang Hao's response, Su Yuyan did not speak, but nodded slightly. After a while, the 2 bottles of milk were finished by Dabao and Erbao, and they closed their eyes at the same time. Su Yuyan walked gently to the bed and slowly put Dabao and Erbao on the bed. But at the moment of letting go, Dabao and Erbao opened their eyes at the same time as if they had discussed it. The next second, they burst into tears. Not only that, the crying also woke up Sanbao, who also started crying. The 3 babies cried in unison, just like frogs in a pond after rain, one after another. Zhang Hao was at a loss immediately. This was the first time he had seen this scene, and he didn't know what to do. And the experienced Su Yuyan seemed very calm. Dabao is easier to coax. Just hold her up. I'll coax Erbao and Sanbao. Okay. Zhang Hao nodded, and with an excited heart and trembling hands, he picked up Dabao. When he felt the baby's petite body, he suddenly had an indescribable feeling. Novelty, doting, family affection, etc. For a moment, Zhang Hao's emotions were complicated. Su Yuyan picked up Erbao and Sanbao. "Let's go, feed the babies mashed potatoes, they won't cry when they eat delicious food." After saying that, she moved out of the bedroom. Zhang Hao followed Dabao out with Dabao in his arms, somewhat doubting whether this method would work. However, when he sat at the dining table and fed the 3 babies the prepared mashed potatoes, the babies suddenly quieted down and ate the mashed potatoes with their little mouths. Zhang Hao smiled at Dabao sitting on his lap. But when he looked at Su Yuyan, he was suddenly stunned. Now the 3 babies are 7 months old and easier to take care of. At least they can sit and eat mashed potatoes. But what about when the babies are young? It's no wonder that they are even harder to coax. Although a nanny is hired, she works from morning till night. So the rest of the time, Su Yuyan is the only woman who takes care of 3 babies with her weak shoulders. Thinking of this, a question came to Zhang Hao's mind. By the way, do you usually take care of the babies alone at night? Father-in-law, where are uncle and aunt? Hearing the question, Su Yuyan's delicate body suddenly trembled. Then, her beautiful eyes turned slightly red, and a sad look appeared on her face. Zhang Hao saw this and said quickly, I'm really sorry, I'm just curious. If it's inconvenient to answer, just treat it as a fart. Puff tilde. Su Yuyan suddenly laughed, but then her expression became depressed. It's nothing, because I'll tell you sooner or later. A year and a half ago, my parents knew I was pregnant, but I didn't tell them it was yours. They got anxious and insisted I abort the baby. I ran away from home because I had a quarrel with my family. My bank card was frozen, so I rented a house here. Although I was very sad during that time, I later checked at the hospital and found out it was triplets. For the 3 little lives in my belly, I'm not afraid of any hardship or fatigue. Now watching the babies grow up day by day, all the efforts are worth it. Whether my parents care or not, whether I meet you or not, I will raise my 3 daughters to adulthood. After saying that, she looked at the 2nd and 3rd babies in her arms, her face full of maternal love. And the 2 babies giggled as if they could understand. At this time, Zhang Hao looked guilty. If it weren't for me, Su Yuyan wouldn't have encountered such a thing. Ding dong tilde. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Zhang Hao stood up and put Dabao in the stroller beside him. I'll go open the door, he said, and walked towards the door. Su Yuyan frowned slightly, and her heartbeat suddenly accelerated. Because it was so late, it must not be the nanny. The only people who knew where I lived were my parents, who I hadn't seen for more than a year. Could it be that they came? Chapter 7, Get Started. Ding dong tilde. The urgent doorbell rang again. I'm here, Zhang Hao answered, thinking who was so anxious and urgent. However, when he opened the door, his eyes were as wide as Tongling. Fuck, sissy. Tilde, why are you here? Hearing this weird voice, Zhang Hao got goosebumps all over his body. Su Huairou was surprised at this time. He came to find his cousin Su Yuyan, but he never expected to see Zhang Hao. The key is that it was the middle of the night. What was he doing at his cousin's house? When he saw Su Yuyan out of the corner of his eye, he asked directly. Cousin, what is Zhang Hao doing at your house? Su Yuyan thought for a while and said, he is the nurse I hired to take care of the baby. Nurse? Su Huairou frowned slightly, and the next moment, his face showed contempt. Oh tilde, I understand, it turns out that our famous Zhang Xiao is doing a part-time job tilde. If this gets out, people will laugh at me. He. After saying that, he glanced at Zhang Hao, snorted again, and walked towards Su Yuyan with shy steps. Zhang Hao swallowed his saliva and almost vomited the food he had just eaten. At this time, Su Yuyan asked unnaturally, Cousin, what are you doing here so late? Su Huairou did not answer immediately, but sat at the dining table. Seeing Dabao lying in the stroller, she reached out and picked him up. Cousin, I haven't seen you for only a month, and the baby has gained so much weight and is getting cuter and cuter. Come, let me kiss you. As he said that, he kissed Dabao on his chubby face. Su Yuyan looked disgusted and helpless. And Zhang Hao raised his eyebrows and glared. It's so disgusting that the dead sissy dared to kiss his little lover. But just as he was about to open his mouth to scold, a funny scene appeared. I saw Dabao suddenly stretched out his little hand and slapped Su Huairou on the face. Par. Although the force was not strong, the sound was very loud. Su Huairou snorted unhappily, Stinky baby, I will buy you new clothes in the future. If you do this, I will spank you. Oh tilde. Suddenly, Dabao vomited directly, just vomiting on Su Huairou. Tilde, these are new clothes I just bought, and I spent more than 10,000 yuan. Stinky baby, I'll spank you. As he said, he raised his hand and fell on Dabao's butt. Cousin. Su Yuyan said with displeasure on her face, you are so old, why are you arguing with a child? Tell me, what's the matter with you coming here so late? Su Huairou glanced at Su Yuyan and saw that she was angry and put the baby in the stroller. HMPH, I'll teach you a lesson later. Cousin, I came here this time for family matters. The old man has retired, and the family business is taken over by my father and your father. And you ran away from home a year ago and said you would cut off ties with the family, so my father is in charge of the company, and you can forget about the shares. As the only male in the Su family, I will inherit the business sooner or later. You can understand what I mean. After saying that, he looked down at Su Yuyan. Su Yuyan frowned. She knew about the family business, whether it was on the surface or within the family. As long as interests were involved, there would be disputes. This is an eternal rule. The family business was established by the old man. Since it involves inheritance, it should be divided fairly between my father and my uncle. I can't say that I am the only child and everything belongs to my uncle. Obviously, because of the conflict between me and my family, my uncle's family took advantage of it. Cousin, since the business has been taken over by my father and uncle, it's too early for you to say that. Besides, the old man never said that you would inherit it alone. What's your intention in saying those words just now? Do you want to take the family business for yourself? Su Yuyan's tone was very serious. At this moment, she seemed to have changed into a different person. The gentle eyes became firm, and the kind expression became cold. It was as if she had changed from a delicate mother to a noble queen. HMPH. Su Huairou said coldly, I'm not discussing with you, but informing you. Besides, do you have the right to say anything about me? I don't know whose bastard you got pregnant a year ago, and you broke off relations with your family because of it. You have disgraced our Su family. You made your father so angry that he had high blood pressure and almost died of anger. Even if you want to go back to the Su family doesn't want you. Not to mention these three bastards. Hearing these words, Su Yuyan, who was touched in the pain, suddenly had tears in her eyes. However, the next moment, she suddenly looked surprised. I saw Zhang Hao walk to Su Huairou angrily, raised his hand and slapped him. Par. A crisp sound rang out. This palm was louder than the one Dabao had just slapped. In an instant, a red five-finger mountain appeared on Su Huairou's fair face. You dare to hit me? Su Huairou covered her face and looked at Zhang Hao with angry eyes. You have 10 seconds to get out of this room. Zhang Hao spoke angrily, with a cold light in his eyes. Although he rarely fought with others, he was furious when he heard his baby being called a bastard. I'll fight you. Su Huairou screamed and scratched Zhang Hao's face with her 10 fingers. Zhang Hao, who was angry, started to fight without saying a word. I thought this sissy was powerless, but he was quite strong when he started to fight, and his face was scratched several times. However, at this moment, the system's voice suddenly sounded. Ding, their host is detected in everyone, do you want to buy super martial arts skills? Zhang Hao was stunned. I didn't expect that I could buy skills, but I didn't know if there was enough money in the card. How much? System, 50,000. Buy. Zhang Hao agreed without thinking. There are more than 50,000 in the bank card, which is just enough to buy. If I get this skill, I'll beat the sissy down. Ding, super martial arts skill has been activated. As the system prompted, Zhang Hao felt that his body had changed. Not only did he suddenly become more powerful, but he was also very agile. Various martial arts routines flashed in his mind like slides. Snap. A crisp sound rang out. Zhang Hao grabbed Su Huairou's wrist and slapped him directly. I'm going to kill you. Su Huairou, who had lost her mind, was like a female cat in heat, biting Zhang Hao's wrist directly with her mouth. Snap. Snap. Zhang Hao slapped Su Huairou twice, making him stunned. But at this moment, Su Huairou was stunned for a moment, and then suddenly burst into tears. Woo woo woo. You shameless bully. Just wait, I'll find someone to teach you a lesson. Woo woo woo. Su Huairou wiped her tears and ran out with harsh words. Zhang Hao didn't care and turned his head to look at Su Yuyan. Su Yuyan looked at him with a stunned look. Chapter 8. Let's get married. Why did you fight just now? After coming to her senses, Su Yuyan looked worried. Zhang Hao's face was still angry, because that sissy insulted the baby, and also because he spoke rudely to you. It doesn't matter if he comes to the door again. I'm here and I won't allow anyone to bully you and the baby. Su Yuyan's expression moved slightly, and her heart was touched. At this time, Zhang Hao suddenly gave her a long-lost sense of security. And Zhang Hao's fight was also for himself. Instantly, she had a better impression of Zhang Hao. I'm not afraid of my cousin, but I'm worried that he will cause trouble for you. My cousin has some connections in Haicheng. You just hit him, and he will definitely retaliate against you. Just after she finished speaking, Su Yuyan was stunned. She suddenly remembered that her cousin recognized Zhang Hao when he came. So they know each other? Zhang Hao sneered and said, the person that sissy knows is not even qualified to carry my shoes. No more talking, let's feed the baby first. After saying that, he sat back at the dining table and picked up a small spoon to feed Dabao mashed potatoes. Su Yuyan was slightly stunned, with a lot of thoughts in her mind. If my cousin knows Zhang Hao and tells my parents, they will definitely come to find him. Although the truth cannot be hidden, my parents must not know it now. Do you know my cousin? No. Zhang Hao said casually, I've only met him a few times, and I feel disgusted every time I see him. Su Yuyan nodded slightly and breathed a sigh of relief. Just then, Zhang Hao suddenly smiled. Su Yuyan's expression slightly changed, and she asked, what are you laughing at? Of course it's your cousin. Zhang Hao laughed and said, a tall and strong man, but he keeps talking like a woman, looking like a man who is neither male nor female. Your uncle must be very regretful for having such a thing. He might as well have thrown him against the wall. At this point, Su Yuyan pursed her lips and continued, I am a straightforward person, don't mind. No. Su Yuyan shook her head, in fact, I also dislike my cousin because of his personality. My cousin has liked playing with girls since he was a child, and he doesn't get along with boys, so his personality is more feminine. Although my family is helpless with my cousin, there is nothing we can do. Zhang Hao smiled and nodded. Once personality is formed, it is difficult to change. Tilde. Just then, Dabao began to hum. Looking down, I found that he was full. I sent mashed potatoes to Dabao, but Dabao pursed his lips and refused to eat. Suddenly, the voice of the system sounded in my head. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the task of mashing potatoes for the baby, and the 30,000 bonus has been received. Master, a text message came. Zhang Hao smiled. This money is too easy to come by. At this time, Su Yuyan stood up holding Erbao and Sanbao. Erbao and Sanbao are full, I will coax the baby to sleep first, and then I will hold Dabao when he is full. Zhang Hao smiled and said, Dabao is full too. Then, I went back to the bedroom and gently put the 3 babies on the bed. Su Yuyan lay on her side beside the 3 babies, patting them gently and humming softly, so as to coax the babies to sleep peacefully. Zhang Hao stood at the door with a smile on his face. Although it was the first time I saw the babies and Su Yuyan today, I felt at home now. But at this moment, Su Yuyan moved her body, and then patted her back with her white jade hands. What's wrong? Is your waist uncomfortable? Zhang Hao asked with concern. Su Yuyan frowned slightly, maybe I'm too tired these days, and my back feels a little sore. When Zhang Hao heard this, guilt surged in his heart. For more than half a year, Su Yuyan has been taking care of 3 babies alone. If I had appeared earlier, she wouldn't be so tired. Sorry, it's all because of me. If I hadn't been drunk that night, that thing wouldn't have happened, and it wouldn't have had such a big impact on your life. 20 years old is a good age for youth. Other girls either go shopping with their besties or watch movies with their partners, enjoying a good time. And Su Yuyan, who bears the pressure of taking care of 3 babies alone, can imagine how difficult it is for her. At this time, Su Yuyan's face was blushing. Zhang Hao's words reminded her of that night a year and a half ago. Don't say that. Actually, I don't blame you. I drank that day, too. Although it was hard at the beginning, I feel relieved when I see the babies grow up day by day. What happened in the past is over. The most important thing is to let the babies grow up healthily and happily. Zhang Hao nodded. Suddenly, an idea sprouted in his mind. Why don't we get married? Su Yuyan was startled. Realizing that the baby was about to fall asleep, she quickly covered her mouth with her hand. Zhang Hao said seriously, I say let's get married. I'm not an irresponsible man. Since we have children, we should get married. Get married. This word is very unfamiliar to Su Yuyen. At least she has never thought about it. Although I found Zhang Hao, I didn't think about it. Including today, I have only met him twice. What's the matter? Do you have someone you like? Hearing Zhang Hao's question, Su Yuyen shook her head quickly. No, you said it too abruptly. I didn't react for a while. Let's talk about this later. Zhang Hao nodded. Well, that's fine. Let's get to know each other first. After all, love grows over time. Don't worry, I will take extra care of you and the baby next time. Su Yuyen remained silent. Just then, the three babies closed their eyes. Well, the babies are asleep. You can go to rest. I have to go to work tomorrow and go to bed early. Well. Zhang Hao nodded. Then I'll go back to the room first. Call me if you need anything. After saying that, he turned around and left. Su Yuyen was stunned for a moment and hurriedly said, Wait. Zhang Hao stopped when he heard the voice. Anything else? I mean to let you go back and rest, not here, after all. As he spoke, Su Yuyen looked as if he wanted to say something but stopped. Zhang Hao smiled and reacted instantly. That's right. After all, we just met, so we're definitely not used to each other yet. Then I'll leave first. I'll come over tomorrow morning. Call me if you have anything to say. My cell phone number is. After saying his cell phone number, Zhang Hao turned and left, closing the door. Coming outside, breathing in the fresh air, all I could think about was what happened today. I didn't expect to suddenly become a father, with 3 lovely daughters. This day passed like a dream. Zhang, stop right there. Suddenly, an unkind voice came from the darkness. Although the tone was fierce, the voice sounded like a eunuch. Chapter 9 Hormones Soaring. Fuck you, you sissy. Hearing Su Huairo's voice, Zhang Hao flew into a rage. Looking in the direction of the voice, a shy figure walked out of the darkness. It was Su Huairo. Zhang, you're dead today. Su Huairo put one hand on her waist and pointed at Zhang Hao, like a shrew scolding on the street. Zhang Hao got goosebumps all over his body, and walked over without saying a word. However, at this moment, 5 more powerful figures appeared from the darkness. HMPH. Su Huairo sneered, little bastard, do you think I'm the only one? I know, I called for help. Brothers, beat him to death. I'll take responsibility if anything happens. After the words fell, the 5 gangsters approached Zhang Hao with fierce faces. Zhang Hao frowned. Although he had acquired martial arts skills, he was not sure that he could fight 5 people alone. Besides, these were all hooligans with rich fighting experience. If he couldn't win, he would only be beaten more badly. Wait. Zhang Hao said sternly, you know who I am, right? Get out of here if you know what's good for you. The 5 hooligans looked at each other and began to laugh. Oh, isn't this the famous Zhang Hao in the past? I didn't recognize him. I'm so disrespectful. What a shitty Zhang Hao, he's just a stray dog. I think he's even worse than a stray dog, just a stray dog. Come on, brothers, stretch our Zhang Hao's muscles. After their words fell, the 5 hooligans rushed towards Zhang Hao like 5 tigers coming down the mountain. Let's fight. Zhang Hao clenched his fists, and he had no choice at this point. Seeing the 5 hooligans approaching, he suddenly exerted force with his legs and went straight up. But just as they were about to start, something surprising happened to Zhang Hao. The 5 thugs' movements were like slow motion, and their punches and kicks were very slow, just like an old man practicing Tai Chi. Oh my god! What's going on? Looking at the fists slowly approaching his face, Zhang Hao widened his eyes, his face full of disbelief. Just then, the system's voice sounded. Host, this is a martial arts skill that becomes stronger when facing a strong opponent. In an extremely tense state, hormones soar, improving reaction ability, movement speed and strength. So powerful. Then you can fight 1 against 100. Theoretically, you can, but the premise is that your body has sufficient functions. Oh. Zhang Hao understood immediately. Feeling that the fists were already on his face, he immediately stopped thinking and started to fight back. Bang, bang, bang. A dull sound sounded. In less than half a second, Zhang Hao threw 4 punches, hitting the stomachs of the 4 thugs. The thugs who were hit flew back 5 meters away and fell to the ground without moving. The remaining thug was stunned, his legs shaking uncontrollably. Zhang Hao, I didn't scold you just now, can you please? Bang! Zhang Hao showed no mercy and treated the 5 thugs equally. Just kidding, if I didn't have martial arts skills, would you let me go? I never remember grudges, I will avenge them on the spot. Just then, he noticed Su Huairo standing not far away and walked over. Su Huairo shivered with fear and instantly came back to his senses. He didn't expect Zhang Hao to be so good at fighting. 5 people were killed by him in an instant. You, don't come over here, I will call for help if you come over again. As Su Huairo spoke, she curled up and retreated, like a little girl who met a gangster. Zhang Hao was immediately disgusted, and his desire to beat people became stronger. Seeing this, Su Huairo quickly begged for mercy. Brother Zhang, I know I was wrong. I promise I will never trouble you again. As long as you don't hit me, I'll let you do anything. As he said that, he squatted on the ground with his hands on his head, and even the last bit of dignity was gone. Seeing the sis's cowardly look, Zhang Hao didn't do it to avoid dirtying his hands. Coward. I warn you, if you trouble Su Yuyan again, I will send you to Thailand for sex reassignment surgery and turn you into a real woman. Do you understand? Su Huairo nodded in fear, I understand. Zhang Hao snorted coldly and turned away directly. Su Huairo didn't raise her head until the footsteps disappeared. HMPH, you wait for me, this matter is not over with you. 8 o'clock in the evening. Zhang Hao returned to the door of the dormitory. When he was about to push the door open, he couldn't push it open. Dong dong dong. Open the door, you are gay inside. As soon as their voice fell, the surprised voice of roommate Zhao Yong sounded. Damn, Howsy is back. Darda. The door opened and a burly figure stood at the door. This man was 1.9 meters tall, with a standard square face, thick eyebrows and big eyes. He looked like a real person. He was Zhao Yong. Howsy, why are you back? Aren't you at Goddess Su's house? Is the child not yours? Were you kicked out? Zhao Yong asked 3 questions straight away. Zhang Hao did not answer, walked into the dormitory, sat on the bed, and lit a cigarette. At the same time, the other 2 roommates, Dazhuang and Xiaohua, also came over. Dazhuang bowed and smiled, congratulations, Zhang Hao, you're a father now. Xiaohua pushed Dazhuang's shoulder, are you stupid? You're a father and you're being cuckolded. Dazhuang smiled and turned his head, oh excuse my ignorance, I'm superficial. At this time, Zhao Yong came over. Howsy, tell me quickly, why are you back? Shouldn't you sleep with Goddessu now? Did something happen? Zhang Hao took a puff of cigarette, waved his hand and said, go away, I want to be alone. Who is Jingjing? Zhao Yong widened his eyes, Goddessu is so beautiful, she gave birth to triplets for you, and you are still flirting with other women outside. I'm not saying anything about you, brother, you are father, you should restrain yourself. Zhang Hao frowned and looked at Zhao Yong, can you talk? I want to be alone. Oh. Zhao Yong smiled and nodded, you scared me, I thought you were cheating. Don't worry, Howsy, with brothers here, nothing is a problem. Don't you have no money now? The 3 of us have raised 5,000 for you, you can spend it first. As he said, he took out his mobile phone from his pocket. Zhang Hao's expression moved slightly, and he was touched in his heart. Compared with the previous friends who only drank and ate together, these 3 roommates were still very reliable. I appreciate your kindness, but it has nothing to do with me. What happened today was too sudden. Let me think quietly for a while. The 3 nodded and understood Zhang Hao's current mood. After all, he was alone yesterday, and he didn't even have a girlfriend. And today, he suddenly had a wife and 3 babies. No one could accept it for a while. Okay, then we won't bother you. Tell us if you have anything. After speaking, Zhao Yong nodded to Dazhuang and Xiaohua, and then turned and left. Bang! Accompanied by a muffled sound, the dormitory door was suddenly kicked open. Zhang Hao. I finally waited for you to come back. Chapter 10 Auntie, that's too much. Zhang Hao glanced at the door and calmly retracted his gaze. The person who came was Yang Wei, whom he met at noon. Because it sounds the same as impotence, he was given this nickname. Although Yang Wei had called a few helpers, in his eyes, they were just small fry. Zhang Hao. Yang Wei said angrily, "You made my girlfriend angry at noon, what do you say about this matter? If you don't want to be beaten, just bow and apologize to me, and this matter will be over." After saying that, he looked at Zhang Hao with a sharp look. "I wanted to go out with my girlfriend Wang Yao Yao in the evening, but when my girlfriend learned that Goddess Su really gave birth to 3 babies for Zhang Hao, she was very upset. She said that as long as Zhang Hao was taught a lesson, she would agree to go to a hotel. In order to have a good time, he didn't hesitate to hire someone to come over." Zhang Hao frowned and took a puff of cigarette, and said indifferently, "I'm not in the mood to care about you now, get out tilde." "Very good." Yang Wei nodded with a bad look and looked at the helpers he had found. Although they were also students of the School of Economics and Trade, they were also gangsters outside. Relying on following a local snake, they were rampant and domineering in school. "Monkey, I'll trouble you guys next. Don't worry." The boy called Monkey had a confident look on his face. If it was before, he would definitely not dare to touch Zhang Hao. But now he is no longer that Zhang Xiao, so there is no worry even if he is beaten. "Brothers, do it." Dong dong dong. The chaotic footsteps sounded. Several people approached Zhang Hao. Just then, Zhao Yang, Dazhuan, Xiaohua and the other 2 immediately walked towards Zhang Hao. The 4-year friendship is not false. How can I stand by and watch Zhang Hao being bullied? Although I know I can't beat him, I can't just watch Zhang Hao being bullied. Sigh tilde. Zhang Hao sighed and stood up slowly. "I said I don't want to bother with you guys, but you are still asking for death." After the words fell, he turned into a residual shadow and rushed towards the few people. Bang bang bang. A dull sound sounded. Under Zhang Hao's attack, Monkey and others were all knocked to the ground in an instant. Seeing this scene, Yang Wei was frightened to impotence. Zhao Yang and others were also dumbfounded. Damn, when did Mouse become so good at fighting? Is he possessed by it, man? You have 5 seconds to disappear from my sight. Hearing Zhang Hao's cold voice, Monkey and others ignored the pain and crawled out of the dormitory. Yang Wei did not leave. It was not because he was brave, but because his legs were weak from fear. "Young Master Zhang, Brother Hao, I know I was wrong. Please spare me. I promise not to trouble you in the future. If you don't like that little bitch Wang Yao Yao, I will break up with her immediately." Zhang Hao turned around and sat back on the bed, saying casually, "Get out tilde." "Okay, I'll get out now." After saying that, Yang Wei rolled out like a round ball. At this time, Zhao Yang and others all surrounded him. "Haozi, I didn't expect you to be so awesome. You knocked down Monkey and the others with just 3 punches and 2 kicks, so awesome. Haozi, you actually know Kung Fu, and you are so good at hiding it." Zhang Hao's mouth curled up slightly. Keep a low profile, keep a low profile. You guys should play games and watch movies, leave me alone. Da Zhuang and Xiao Hua nodded and left, one to play games and the other to watch movies. Zhao Yang still stood in front of Zhang Hao, looking a little helpless. "Haozi, even if you are awesome, you definitely wouldn't dare to beat Nun Mi Hu. You didn't attend her class today, so you'll be ravaged tomorrow." Zhang Hao's expression moved slightly, and he suddenly realized something. "Next, I have to take care of the baby, so I won't have time to go to class. The only way is to study while taking care of the baby. Daeong, I need your help with something. Starting tomorrow, no matter what class you are in, you have to broadcast it to me via video. Because I have to take care of 3 babies and don't have time to attend classes." When Zhao Yang heard this, his expression became surprised. "Haozi, it's easy to broadcast it via video, but can you learn it this way? There are still half a year before graduation. If you don't pass the exam by then, you will have to repeat a year." Zhang Hao looked indifferent. Study is dispensable to him. When he was in college, he just came to mess around. Besides, compared with 3 babies, going to school is nothing. You listen to me, it's settled. If Nun Mi Hu asks, you can say I had a car accident. The next day, Zhang Hao got up at 7 in the morning. This was also the earliest time he got up in all these years. After having some breakfast on the roadside, he came to the door of Su Yuyen's house. Ding dong tilde. Zhang Hao rang the doorbell, wondering if the 3 babies are awake now. When he thought of the cute looks of the 3 cute babies, he couldn't help but laugh. G tilde. The door opened. "Good morning." Zhang Hao was stunned for a moment. I thought it would be Su Yuyen who opened the door, but it turned out to be the nanny. You are here, young man, come in. The nanny smiled and looked at Zhang Hao with a very kind look. Yeah. Zhang Hao smiled and said, you are here so early, where is Su Yuyen? She went to work at school, usually leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning. I will be here at 7 o'clock. Oh. Zhang Hao nodded, walked into the living room, threw his school bag on the sofa, and walked towards the bedroom with some excitement. But at this moment, he was suddenly stopped by the nanny. Wait, the babies are still sleeping, they should wake up soon. Wash the babies' clothes first, you must wash them by hand. Then cook some millet porridge, make sure to turn up the heat, and wait for the babies to wake up and eat. Also prepare the milk powder and clothes. Finally, clean the room. Zhang Hao frowned as soon as he heard it. Shouldn't these jobs be done by the nanny? Why do you let him do all of them? Could it be that this nanny is always lazy when Su Yuyen is not around? While guessing, the nanny spoke again. Young man, since you want to take care of the baby, you have to learn from the most basic. If you don't have patience, you can't take good care of the baby. Zhang Hao nodded slightly. Although he had some small ideas, the nanny's words made sense. Only by becoming a qualified dad can you take good care of the baby. Okay, let me know when the baby wakes up. After saying that, he walked into the kitchen, tied an apron and started doing housework. This feeling, don't mention how fresh it is. More than an hour later, Zhang Hao finished what the nanny had told him to do. Just then, he heard the baby crying in the bedroom. He didn't even have time to untie his apron, and walked directly into the bedroom. All three babies woke up. The first and second babies didn't cry, but the third baby cried hard. At this time, the nanny stood motionless by the bed. Young man, change the diapers for the three babies first, and then go and make half a bottle of milk powder. Zhang Hao took a deep breath, and his expression suddenly darkened. Auntie, don't you think you're a little too much? If you don't want to take care of the baby, you can leave now. The nanny was a little uneasy when she saw this. After a moment of awkward silence, she said, young man, don't be angry, I also have my own difficulties. Difficulties? Zhang Hao frowned slightly, with a puzzled look on his face. Chapter 11 Nun Mihu's question. What's the reason? Faced with Zhang Hao's questioning, the nanny had to tell the truth. If she makes Bao's father angry, she will lose her job. Young man, I can tell you, but you can't tell Miss Su. Zhang Hao's expression was slightly moved, and he didn't understand what the nanny was up to. In order to know the truth, he nodded and agreed. The nanny continued, actually, I was sent by Miss Su's father, or to be exact, I was hired. In addition to taking care of the baby, I just tell Mr. Su about the situation here. Zhang Hao's heart skipped a beat when he heard it. Su Yuyen's father, isn't that the father-in-law? But then again, why did the father-in-law deliberately conceal it? Is it because Su Yuyen had a conflict with her family? While thinking, he heard the nanny speak again. Young man, don't tell Miss Su. Although Miss Su has broken up with her family, there are no parents who don't care about their children. Parents are pitiful. Mr. Su also wants Miss Su to go home and doesn't want her to have such a hard life. And if you want to come and see the babies, you can only come when Miss Su is not around. Sigh tilde. After saying that, the nanny shook her head and sighed. Although it was not her family's business, she was still worried. Especially when she saw the three cute babies, she felt distressed sometimes. Because she has been taking care of the babies for half a year, she has always treated them as her own children. Zhang Hao nodded slightly. After understanding the situation, he decided to keep it secret for the nanny. As for the conflict between Su Yuyen and her family, he must help resolve it if he has the chance. Anyway, he also has an unshirkable responsibility. Ting ting ting. Suddenly, Zhang Hao's phone rang. Took it out and saw that it was a WeChat video call from Zhao Yang. Needless to say, it must be class. Auntie, please change the baby's diaper first, I'll take a call. Okay. The nanny smiled and nodded, you must keep it a secret for me. No problem. After responding, Zhang Hao answered the video call. But after answering, what appeared on the screen was not Zhao Yang's square face, but a face full of anger. Zhang Hao. Get back to class right now. A harsh roar sounded. Zhang Hao suddenly felt guilty. Because this was no one else, but the head teacher Li Yang, who was known as the Nun Mihu. Mieshue teacher Li. Realizing that he called the wrong name, Zhang Hao quickly changed his words. I was hit by a car when I went out last night, and I'm in the hospital now. I asked Zhao Yong to ask for leave for me, didn't he tell you? Li Yan was so angry that she raised her eyebrows and glared. He did. He said you are father, and it's triplets, you are fooling around. I give you 10 minutes to show up in front of me, otherwise I will deduct your credits. Forget about your diploma. As soon as the voice fell, Zhao Yong's innocent voice came from the other side. Teacher, I really didn't lie to you, Haozi is really a father. Shut up. You just follow Zhang Hao and fool around, I want to see what you can learn. Hearing Master Mieshue roaring, Zhang Hao felt helpless. At this point, there is no need to hide it. Teacher, Zhao Yong didn't lie to you, I am really a father. As he said, he moved the camera towards the 3 babies. Nun Mihu said sternly, Zhang Hao. I warn you. You are fooling around like this. Before she finished her words, her voice stopped abruptly. Seeing the 3 babies, Nun Mihu was stunned. But the next moment, anger reappeared on her face. HMPH. Don't fool the teacher with other people's babies. You haven't even grown all your hair yet, how can you have a baby? Besides, you are not yet of legal marriage age, who would marry you and have children, are you being kept by a rich woman? After she finished her words, a burst of laughter rang out. Nun Mihu angrily scolded, we are in class. Don't laugh. Zhang Hao didn't say much, but handed the phone to the nanny. Auntie, please explain it to me. Okay. The nanny took the phone with a smile, looked at the screen and said with a smile, Teacher, I can testify for Zhang Hao that he is indeed the father of the baby. Mistress Mihu said with certainty, Impossible, he is so young, how can he be a father? Sister, the child is making trouble, why are you still meddling in it? The nanny was speechless. Just then, Zhang Hao brought over the 3 paternity tests. Teacher, you can disbelieve me, but you can't disbelieve the judicial institutions. After saying that, he pointed the camera at the 3 paternity tests. Mistress Mihu squinted and took a closer look, and suddenly showed a look of surprise. This is actually true. Student Zhang Hao, you really became a father, and it's triplets. Zhang Hao smiled and nodded, and finally made Mistress Mihu believe it. Yes, teacher. I have to take care of the baby next, so I can't go back to class for the time being. But don't worry, I won't fall behind in my studies. Let Zhao Yong learn by watching the video. Mrs. Mihu nodded, okay, in view of your special situation, you are allowed not to come to school for the time being. As for what to do next, I will make a decision after discussing with the principal. Zhao Yong, here's your phone. Then, Zhao Yong's square face appeared on the screen. Zhang Hao directly blamed, you Zhao Yong, I asked you to take a sick leave, but you told me who the truth directly, you are cheating your father. Zhao Yong immediately looked innocent, can you blame me? The whole school knows that you are father. Besides, there is nothing shameful about this. I want to be a father, but no one has given birth to me yet. Zhang Hao was immediately ashamed. Okay, don't record your big face, record the blackboard. Okay. Zhao Yong pointed the camera at the blackboard. Zhang Hao threw his phone aside without even looking at it. Asking Zhao Yong to use the video during class was just to please the teacher. Because he didn't study well before and couldn't learn it now, why waste time on studying? While thinking, he saw the nanny changing the baby's diaper and went to make milk powder. Babies, drink milk. After a while, Zhang Hao returned to the bedroom with 3 bottles of milk at the right temperature. Put the milk bottles in front of the 3 cute babies respectively. The babies held the milk bottles tightly with their 2 little hands and started to drink. Zhang Hao, who saw this scene, had a smile on his face. At this moment, he felt as if he was the happiest person in the world. Mouse. Can you hear me, Mouse? Suddenly, Zhao Yong's voice came from the phone. Zhang Hao walked over with a smile, looked at Zhao Yong on the screen and asked, what's wrong? The teacher asked you about what I just said, and translated it into English as idioms up and down. Oh? Zhang Hao was immediately embarrassed. Because I am too lazy to learn Chinese, let alone English. But facing the teacher's questions, I can't not answer. Let me think about it, up and down, I know, 7 up, 8 down. Just as their voice fell, there was a burst of laughter. Chapter 12 Super Academic Skills. Har har har. Zhang Xiao, your bulk English is amazing. I have never been defeated by anyone in my life, you are the first. Har har, are you a funny guy sent by the monkey? Then, the angry voice of Master Mihu sounded. It's class. No laughing. Zhang Hao, if you want to learn, listen carefully. If you don't want to learn, you don't have to come later. Hang up. Don't affect Zhao Yong's study. Zhang Hao's mouth moved slightly. Although he really didn't want to learn, he couldn't refuse directly, otherwise he would be eaten by Master Mihu. However, just when Zhang Hao was helpless, the voice of the system suddenly sounded. Ding, their host is worried about studying. Do you want to buy the super academic tyrant skill? Zhang Hao's eyes lit up immediately. Super academic tyrant skill. Just by the name, it sounds awesome. Will it be like the super martial arts skill? After purchasing this skill, you can become an all-knowing academic tyrant. Thinking of this, Zhang Hao immediately made a decision: buy. Okay, buying. Sorry, it is detected that their host's bank card balance is insufficient, and it cannot be purchased temporarily. Zhang Hao was directly confused. System, is there such a pitfall as you? The systems in other people's novels are all direct rewards, but you are so good, you need to pay, and you have insufficient balance. What use do I have for your system? Ding tilde. Suddenly, the system's voice sounded again. Host, if the balance is not enough, you can apply for installment business. Installment. Hearing these two words, Zhang Hao suddenly felt that 10,000 grass mud horses were galloping over his head. Is this system here to reward or punish himself? System, host, don't be angry, the installment can be divided into 10 installments, and interest will only be generated after the overdue. 10 installments, that is, 10 months. Zhang Hao nodded, thinking that this was acceptable. System, how much does the super academic skill cost? 100,000. Buy it. Zhang Hao did not hesitate. Ding, congratulations to their host for the successful purchase, because the installment will be deducted every month, and if it is overdue, 24% interest will be generated. Zhang Hao smiled. Is this system studying law? The interest is so accurate. At this moment, under Zhang Hao's perception, his brain changed slightly. It seems that he is more clever than before. A lot of knowledge that he has learned and forgotten is now emerging in his mind. But what makes people depressed is that he has not become an all-knowing academic master. System, since you have acquired the super academic master skills, why haven't you become an academic master who knows everything? Host, you have become an academic master now. You can remember everything you see and understand any knowledge at once, but you still need to learn. Okay. Zhang Hao no longer bothered with the system. Anyway, at least he could answer the teacher's questions. Teacher Li, I know how to say settled state of mid in English. It's AU settled state of mid. Mr. Mihu said unhappily, humph, you must have looked it up on the internet. Zhang Hao was speechless for a moment, thought about it and said, then let me translate anything. After all, I started learning English in elementary school, and then in junior high school and university. Although I had forgotten everything long ago, after acquiring the super academic master skills, all the long forgotten knowledge was awakened. Okay, this is what you said. You translate Shujimore's farewell to Cambridge. If everything is correct, I will give you a diploma directly. Nun Mihu naturally didn't believe it. Because this is a bit difficult for the English class representative. No problem. Zhang Hao is very confident. Then he started to translate. Quickly I left, getly I left. After a while, Zhang Hao recited Shujimore's farewell to Cambridge in English with emotion and loudly. Nun Mihu was stunned at this time. She never thought that Zhang Hao, a poor student who was lazy in learning, could accurately recite farewell to Cambridge in English. Since he is so good at English, why is he always at the bottom of the test? And even the simplest ups and downs can be translated incorrectly. Wow tilde. Suddenly, the cry of a baby sounded. It was Dabao in Zhang Hao's arms, crying after drinking milk. Teacher, I'm going to coax the children. Don't forget to give me the diploma. After saying that, he threw the phone on the bed and started to coax the baby. Zhang Hao, I don't believe that your English has suddenly become so strong. I'll wait for you to come to school to verify it in person. The voice of Master Mihu came from the phone. Zhang Hao didn't care. For him, nothing was more important than coaxing the children. As time passed, it was soon approaching noon. At this time, Zhang Hao was having fun playing with the babies on the bed. The 7-month-old baby can already crawl. Zhang Hao was also crawling on the bed, chasing and playing with the 3 babies. Don't let Dad catch you. If he catches you, he will tickle you. Dad is here. Tilder-do-do-do. The 3 cute babies were like tadpoles, swinging their little arms and legs and crawling quickly on the bed. Zhang Hao was chasing behind. Looking at the cute appearance of the 3 cute babies, the smile on his face never stopped. Xiao Zhang. At this time, the nanny walked into the bedroom with a smile. It's almost noon, I'm going out to buy some vegetables, call me if you have anything. Zhang Hao responded, Auntie, I'll go. Because the vegetable market is a distance away from the community, the nanny is old, how can she let him run around? It's okay, I'll go, just in time to exercise my body, the babies have just become familiar with you, it's time to cultivate feelings. Zhang Hao nodded, thinking that this made sense. Okay, then I'll trouble you. No trouble, this is what I should do. After saying that, the nanny turned and walked out. Zhang Hao continued to play with the 3 cute babies. However, just after a while, the doorbell suddenly rang. Did the nanny forget to take something? Thinking, Zhang Hao came to the door of the living room. When he opened the door, he found a middle-aged man standing outside the door. Who are you looking for? Who are you? As Zhang Hao asked, the middle-aged man also frowned and asked. Zhang Hao narrowed his eyes slightly. Since the middle-aged man asked who you are right away, he must know Su Yuyan. Could it be? Suddenly, Zhang Hao thought of something. Looking carefully at the middle-aged man's face, he found that his eyes and eyebrows were somewhat similar to Su Yuyan's. Are you Su Yuyan's father? Guessing the other party's identity, Zhang Hao's tone suddenly became more respectful. The middle-aged man frowned even deeper. The next moment, the man looked surprised. You are Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao was stunned for a moment, his thoughts a little confused. Didn't Su Yuyan say that she hadn't mentioned herself to her family? But how did this future father-in-law recognize herself at a glance? Yes, it must be the nanny who said it. Hello uncle, I am Zhang Hao, nice to meet you. Su's father frowned and asked, what are you doing here? Zhang Hao was stunned again. Chapter 13 Fate. Didn't the nanny tell you? Zhang Hao was full of doubts and was almost confused by Su's father's questions. Since he recognized me, why did he ask what I was doing here? Didn't the nanny explain it clearly? Nanny. Su's father frowned slightly, what does this have to do with the nanny? Aren't you Zhang Kaoyan's son? You know my dad. Zhang Hao was shocked. I didn't expect Su Yuyan's father to know his own father. This is too coincidental. Fate. But just as Zhang Hao was surprised, Su's father's unhappy voice sounded. Wait. Could it be that you are the young man the nanny said, the biological father of the baby? Zhang Hao smiled and nodded, yes, uncle, you said this is too coincidental. Don't worry, I will definitely take care of your daughter and the 3 babies, and make sure they live a happy life. Before he finished speaking, he was suddenly interrupted by Su's father. You bastard, you ruined my daughter. If it weren't for you, my daughter wouldn't be pregnant, and wouldn't run away from home. After saying that, seeing Zhang Hao's eyes full of anger, he loosened his tie and was about to take action. Zhang Hao instinctively clenched his fists when he saw this. But the next moment, the idea of resistance suddenly disappeared. After all, it was because of him that Su Yuyan's life was greatly affected. If she didn't get pregnant and didn't give birth to a child, she would be living a life of food and clothing, and she could also inherit the family business. As for Su Yuyan's father, he could understand his mood at the moment. My precious daughter was made pregnant by someone, and she ran away from home. I'm afraid that Su's father even wanted to kill himself. Uncle, I admit that it's my fault. You can beat me or scold me as you like. After saying that, he stood still. Stinky boy, do you think I don't dare? Su's father was furious and raised his fist to hit Zhang Hao in the face. But at this moment, a scream rang out. Mr. Su. Father Su's fist froze on his head when he heard the voice. When he saw the nanny coming over with vegetables, he slowly put his fist down. Mr. Su. The nanny who saw the situation hurried over to persuade him, don't be angry, talk it over nicely. Since things are like this, beating him will not help. And I can see that Xiao Zhang is a responsible person. He has not gone to school to take care of the baby. Why don't you give him a chance? I believe he can be a good father. Even if you give him a chance for the sake of the 3 babies. After all, Miss Sue's life is hard. Can you bear to see the babies without a father? Hearing these words, Father Su breathed a sigh of relief. But when he saw Zhang Hao, his anger burned instantly. Don't worry about this matter. Go take care of the baby. The nanny nodded. Mr. Su, you must think twice. After speaking, she walked towards the bedroom with some worry. Come out with me. Father Su suppressed his anger and came to the stairs. Because I was so angry when I saw Zhang Hao, I had to beat him up. It can be seen that when Zhang Hao came over and was about to take action, he suddenly hesitated. Because Zhang Hao looked calm at this time, his eyes were full of determination, and with that handsome face, he suddenly felt a little bit reluctant. Damn, you are still too soft-hearted. I won't beat you, go away, and never come to my daughter again. Zhang Hao said seriously, I won't leave, because I said I would take care of Su Yuyan and the 3 babies. You? Su's father raised his eyebrows and glared, and the next moment, he showed disdain. I know, you must be paying attention to the money. Your family is bankrupt now, Zhang Chaoyang has no news, and you have become a poor boy now. But I tell you, there is no way. Even if you are the biological father of the baby, don't think about taking a penny from me. Zhang Hao frowned slightly, and suddenly had the urge to beat someone up. If it wasn't Su Yuyan's father who said this, they would have fought. Uncle, you can insult me, but you can never insult my dignity. Su's father snorted coldly and stretched out a finger. 1 million. As long as you leave my daughter and baby, I'll give you 1 million. Zhang Hao said calmly, this has nothing to do with money. 2 million. Su's father stretched out another finger. Zhang Hao said seriously, Uncle, even if you give me 200 million, I won't leave Su Yuyan and the baby, and I won't ask you for a penny. You? Su's father was so angry that smoke came out of his nostrils, and the urge to beat him up appeared again. Dingling. Suddenly, a pleasant mobile phone ring rang. Zhang Hao took out his mobile phone and saw that it was Su Yuyan's call. Hello, what's wrong, wife? Thinking of Su's father standing opposite, Zhang Hao directly said the intimate name. Who is your wife? An angry voice sounded, I just want to ask what the babies are doing? Can you take good care of the babies? Zhang Hao smiled, don't worry, wife, I have a lot of fun playing with the babies, and they even call me daddy. As soon as their voice fell, the voice of the system suddenly sounded in his mind. Ding, their host is detected to be lying. Teach the baby to call daddy within 3 days. The reward is 300,000 yuan for completion and 300,000 yuan for failure. R. Zhang Hao widened his eyes and thought that the system was starting to cheat again. The babies are so young, will they call daddy? I was extremely depressed and heard Su Yuyan's response. TSK, the baby has only seen you for 2 days, how can it be possible to call daddy? You can take good care of them, hang up. Goodbye, wife. Zhang Hao responded quickly and put the phone in his pocket. Looking at Su's father, he saw that he was looking at him in a daze. Uncle, if you want to start, hurry up. I should cook for the babies. By the way, you should stay and eat with us. Oh? After hearing this, Father Su suddenly felt a headache, not knowing whether to get angry or refuse politely. Stinky boy, don't think I will forgive you just because you are good at talking. No matter what, you will never be allowed to stay here, because you are not qualified and you don't have the ability. Look at where my daughter lives and what kind of environment the baby lives in. As a father, you don't even have the ability to bring happiness to your wife and baby. Whether you are a husband or a father, you are incompetent. If I were you. Dingling. The mobile phone in Father Su's pocket rang. After answering the phone, he said angrily, what do you want to do? You can't even do this little thing. I'll go back right away. Hang up the phone and looked at Zhang Hao coldly. Let's talk about this today. I'll come to you tomorrow. After he finished speaking, he turned around and left. Zhang Hao suddenly stood there in a daze. What Father Su said just now was like a hammer, hitting his heart again and again. He was not competent as a husband. He was not able to let his baby live a happy life. In the end, he was looked down upon by his father-in-law because he had no money. No, I must find a way to make money immediately. After making up his mind, he began to rack his brains to think. Chapter 14, Setting up a stall at the entrance of the community. I got it. Suddenly, Zhang Hao had a flash of inspiration and thought of a quick way to make money. That is to set up a stall to sell vegetables. This dish is not a vegetable, but a cooked food. After all, with super cooking skills, you can make super delicious food. Although the process is tiring, there is no better way. As for the magical system, let alone making money, it would be good if you don't get fined. Just do it. After lunch, Zhang Hao went straight to the vegetable market. He spent more than 2,000 and bought a bunch of vegetables, chicken, duck, fish and meat. Then he bought a dozen rectangular metal plates from the grocery store to serve the dishes when setting up a stall. Xiao Zhang, what are you buying so many dishes and plates for? The nanny was surprised to see what Zhang Hao bought. Of course I'm setting up a stall to sell vegetables. Zhang Hao smiled and explained, now, except for breathing air, even sleeping costs money. I saw a lot of people passing by the gate of the community, so I thought of setting up a stall to sell vegetables and earn some money for milk powder for the babies. The nanny nodded and looked at Zhang Hao with admiration. Not bad, there are not many young people as capable as you. But the key is that there are many restaurants around. Can you sell stir-fried dishes at the gate of your community? Zhang Hao patted his chest with a face full of confidence. Don't worry, auntie, I am still very confident in my cooking skills. The nanny smiled and said, okay, then I wish you success. The babies are sleeping, so I'll help you. Then I'll trouble you, auntie. Zhang Hao did not refuse. With the help of a nanny, a lot of time can be saved. It was afternoon in a blink of an eye. Zhang Hao had prepared more than a dozen dishes. Kung Pao chicken, spicy chicken nuggets, braised pig's trotters, dumper pork, etc. While cooking, he took the time to teach the three cute babies to call daddy. Perhaps because it was the beginning of the teaching, the three babies could only say Dada, Pupper, Lala, but they could not call daddy. Auntie, I'm going out to set up a stall. Call me if you have anything. After saying hello to the nanny, Zhang Hao started his first business. He came to the gate of the community and placed more than a dozen dishes neatly on the shelf. Looking at the pedestrians coming and going, he started shouting. Come and have a look from all directions. Super delicious food made with ancestral craftsmanship. It doesn't matter if you don't buy it. You can taste it for free. If it doesn't taste good, you don't have to pay tilde. Although it was the first time to set up a stall in public, Zhang Hao was not timid at all. For him who suffers from social bullishness, this was just a small scene. But as he kept shouting, he gradually lost his passion. There were many people passing by, but they were just passing by. Strange, why is no one buying it? It smells good, could it be that these people have caught a cold? Just as Zhang Hao was wondering, he saw a figure standing not far away. Looking closely, it was Su Yuyan. Hi tilde. Zhang Hao just raised his hand to say hello, but saw Su Yuyan walking into the community quickly. Oh? Zhang Hao was immediately embarrassed. He thought, could it be that Su Yuyan was embarrassed? So she pretended not to know him? I didn't steal or rob, what's so embarrassing about making money with my craft? Zhang Hao was a little puzzled, but after a while, he saw a scene that surprised him. Su Yuyan came over pushing a large baby stroller. In the stroller, there were three cute babies. Each baby wore a yellow hat with lace on his head, a pacifier in his mouth, and a pair of big black eyes looking around, not to mention how cute it was. Why did you bring all the babies out? Seeing Su Yuyan walk in, Zhang Hao asked with a smile, and at the same time realized that he had misunderstood her just now. Of course I'm selling vegetables with you. Su Yuyan was a little touched. Knowing that Zhang Hao was selling vegetables at the door to make money. If it weren't for me and the baby, he wouldn't have to do this at all. Thinking of this, my good impression of Zhang Hao increased a little. Oh, these three babies are so cute. A surprised voice came. Several aunties who were about to go to square dance were immediately attracted by the three babies. Young man, are these three babies yours? So cute. Look at those big eyes, just like dolls. And they are triplets. Seeing your wife is so thin, I didn't expect she is so fertile. It would be great if my daughter-in-law could also give birth to triplets. I would even quit square dancing. Hearing the praise for the baby, Zhang Hao smiled. Yes, auntie, all three babies were born after my wife's hard work in pregnancy for 10 months. Young man, you are so lucky. Your wife is so beautiful, and she gave birth to triplets for you. You are destined to enjoy happiness. Young man, do you have any secret recipe? Can you tell the aunties? As they were talking, several aunties suddenly sniffed their noses and looked at the dishes on the plates. This smells so good, young man, are these dishes made by you? Zhang Hao smiled and nodded, yes, auntie, I made them all by myself, you can try them, if they don't taste good, it's free. Really? When they heard that it was free, the eyes of several aunts lit up immediately. Although they had already eaten, since it was free, it would be a waste not to eat it. But after tasting it, several aunts showed surprise on their faces, as if they had discovered a new world. Oh my god, this is so delicious. My best dish is kung pao chicken, but compared to what I made for you, it's simply unpalatable. This braised pig's trotter is very soft and sticky, with a pure aroma, and tastes better than those made in 5-star hotels. Young man, give me a portion of kung pao chicken and a portion of stir-fried pork with hot peppers, so I can take them home and eat them when my son gets off work. Give me 2 braised pig's trotters. I want a portion of boiled pork slices and a portion of pickled fish. Several aunties rushed to buy. Zhang Hao quickly took out the lunchbox and started to pack the dishes. Such a lively scene immediately attracted the attention of passers-by, and they gathered around. Wow, these 3 babies are so cute, and they are rare triplets. Their mother is so beautiful, and the father is so handsome, both of them are beautiful, no wonder they can give birth to such cute babies. It's not easy to set up a stall with babies, you have to take care of the business. Boss, give me a braised pig's trotter. I want a braised pork. As more and more people gathered, a long line formed. Zhang Hao started to get busy. Although he was a little overwhelmed, he was happy. In less than an hour, more than a dozen plates of dishes were all empty. And the line was still queuing, 20 to 30 meters along the road. I'm really sorry, all the dishes are sold out. Everyone, come back tomorrow, different dishes will be updated every day. When they heard that the dishes were sold out, those who didn't buy left disappointed. Zhang Hao opened his WeChat wallet and looked at it, and his face was immediately filled with joy. Wife, guess how much we sold? Chapter 15 Worthy of being a biological child. How much? Who is your wife? Su Yuyan suddenly blushed. Fortunately, she reacted quickly and almost fell into Zhang Hao's trap. A total of more than 8,600 were sold. Excluding the more than 1,000 from selling vegetables and plates, the net profit was 7,000. Seeing the balance, Zhang Hao didn't expect to make so much money. The seemingly inconspicuous stall actually made such a big profit. It's a lot, thank you for your hard work. Su Yuyan's eyes flickered softly. Now I understand that Zhang Hao is a responsible man. What's so hard about this? As long as you and the baby have a better life, it's worth it no matter how hard or tired you are. Su Yuyan was touched, and at the same time, she felt a little ashamed. Zhang Hao continued, you take the babies home first, I'll pack up and go back. After he finished speaking, he began to pack up. But at this moment, he saw several figures coming over from the corner of his eye. Sorry, their vegetables are sold out. Come back tomorrow. Brother Dao. This guy beat me up. A fierce voice sounded. Zhang Hao frowned slightly and recognized the voice of Monkey. I taught him a lesson last night, and he came to seek revenge today. Looking up, it was true. In addition to Monkey, there were 5 tattooed gangsters. The leader had an obvious scar on his left cheek. Zhang Hao knew that this person was a local tyrant in this area, and people on the street called him Brother Dao. It was rumored that the scar on his face was left by a man who took a knife and fought 50 people alone. He chopped for more than an hour without blinking. It turned out to be you, kid. Brother Dao was full of disdain. Although he knew that Zhang Hao was one of the 4 young masters of Haicheng, that was in the past. Now Zhang Hao is just a stray dog. You dare to hit even my little brother. I think you are tired of living like an old lady doing somersaults. Brothers, fight. My brother Dao in the society is ruthless and doesn't talk much. With an order, 4 gangsters approached Zhang Hao fiercely. Zhang Hao was not a soft persimmon either. He rolled up his sleeves and prepared to fight. But at this moment, a beautiful figure suddenly blocked in front of him. Su Yuyan? Zhang Hao was suddenly stunned. Stop. Su Yuyan's expression was cold. Facing the 4 strong men, she was not afraid at all. Now we live in a society ruled by law. If anyone dares to do this, I will call the police. After he finished speaking, he took out his mobile phone from his pocket. The four gangsters were stunned for a moment. It was not because they were afraid, but because they were fascinated by Su Yuyan. TSK, 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 this figure, this face, is simply the best. Beauty, those 3 babies are definitely not yours, you don't look like you've given birth to a child. Girl, are you free tonight? Brother will take you to have fun. This small body must be very easy to operate. Swoosh tilde. Suddenly, a sound of breaking through the air was heard. A residual image rushed towards the 4 gangsters. Bang bang bang. Accompanied by a few muffled sounds, several gangsters fell to the ground in an instant and all fainted. The angry Zhang Hao showed no mercy. Dare to tease his wife, knocking them out is still a light punishment. If I hadn't had no money now, I would have to cripple these gangsters. Brother Dao was stunned when he saw this scene. Monkey was also immediately scared and said, Brother Dao, how about we retreat? Although I knew Zhang Hao was good at fighting, I didn't expect him to be so good at fighting. Those 4 hooligans were good at fighting, and they were usually more than enough to fight 5 at a time. But in front of Zhang Hao, they were like little chickens and were killed instantly. What's wrong with Zhang Hao? So fierce. Can't retreat. Brother Dao came back to his senses, and the fierce look on his face reappeared. Dare to hit my little brother, it's like hitting my face. If this gets out, how can I survive in the underworld in the future? Although this kid is good at fighting, Brother Dao is not a vegetarian. After saying that, he moved his neck and made a crackling sound. Boy, as long as you kowtow to me and admit your mistake, pay my brother 100,000 yuan for medical expenses, and let your girlfriend accompany me for one night, this matter will be settled, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. Zhang Hao snorted with a sneer, turned around and cleaned up the dishes without saying anything to Brother Dao. Damn it! Brother Dao, who was ignored, glared with anger and walked towards Zhang Hao aggressively. But when he came behind Zhang Hao and was about to kick him, he just raised his leg and suddenly his eyes went black and he lost consciousness. Zhang Hao retracted his kicked leg. Wife, let's go home. After saying that, he glanced at Monkey's face indifferently and walked into the community with the stacked plates. Su Yuyan came back to her senses from the shock and hurriedly pushed the baby to follow. Monkey was almost scared to pee at this time. He was afraid that Zhang Hao would beat him up too. Especially the last kick of Brother Dao, it was like Bruce Lee was possessed, and a side kick stunned Brother Dao. The key is that the action was so fast that I couldn't see it clearly. Oh my god, Zhang Hao is such a good fighter. Don't mess with him in the future. But, he offended Brother Dao this time, and he will be in trouble next time. He took out his cell phone from his pocket and dialed 120. Hello, 5 of my people have heat stroke. Please send a car over here. Wife, what do you want for dinner? After returning home, Zhang Hao asked Su Yuyan with a smile. Anything is fine. Su Yuyan frowned slightly. You just hit someone, they won't call the police, right? No. Zhang Hao smiled and said, they were the first to hit me, I was acting in self-defense. And they are not good people, don't worry, wife. Su Yuyan nodded slightly, with a little worry on her face. You should fight less in the future, especially in front of the babies. Zhang Hao's expression changed slightly, and he asked quickly, did you scare the babies? Su Yuyan curled her lips. No, you didn't see that when you were fighting, the babies were clapping. I was worried that they would learn bad things from you. Zhang Hao was stunned for a moment, and then laughed. Har har, you are worthy of being my own child. You have the same temper as me. No matter what happens, you are not afraid. It's just that the babies are still young, and they can't be allowed to see violent scenes. Don't worry, wife, I promise not to fight in front of the babies in the future. After saying that, looking at the 3 babies in the stroller, his face was full of doting. Su Yuyan blushed and said, you should call me by my name in the future. It feels awkward to call me wife. Yes, okay wife. Call me Yuyan. Okay wife. Oh. Su Yuyan was immediately embarrassed. Seeing Zhang Hao start cooking, she pushed the 3 cute babies back to the bedroom. Half an hour later, Zhang Hao prepared a sumptuous dinner and also made vegetable puree that the babies liked to eat. Wife, come and eat with the babies. You eat first, Dabao has a fever, I'll eat later. What? Fever? Zhang Hao frowned and rushed to the bedroom. However, at this moment, the system's voice suddenly sounded. Chapter 16 I didn't let you go. Ding, Dabao is detected to have a fever. Do you want to buy the super Chinese medicine skill? Buy. Zhang Hao didn't hesitate at all. He didn't even ask how much it cost, and chose to buy it directly. For him, nothing is more important than the baby. Ding, super Chinese medicine skills require 200,000. It is detected that their host's bank card has insufficient balance, and the installment skills are automatically processed, and 20,000 are paid every month. Ding, the skills are issued. Congratulations to their host for obtaining the super Chinese medicine skills. Instantly, a lot of medical knowledge emerged in Zhang Hao's mind. At the same time, Zhang Hao rushed into the bedroom. Su Yuyan took out the thermometer from Dabao's armpit and frowned after looking at it under the light. 38.6 degrees. More serious than a low fever. Zhang Hao, take out the antipyretic plug from the drawer. Yes. Zhang Hao hurried to the table. When he opened the drawer, he saw a paper box with the words, antipyretic plug, written on it, and immediately took it to Su Yuyan. Here. Su Yuyan took the antipyretic plug, then took off Dabao's diaper and spread open his white and tender little butt. Wait, what are you going to do? Seeing Su Yuyan holding the antipyretic plug and about to put it into Dabao's little butt, Zhang Hao hurriedly spoke to stop her. Su Yuyan frowned slightly. Of course it's for Dabao's fever. Zhang Hao was very confused. Reducing fever. Isn't this something to eat? Oh. Su Yuyan was immediately embarrassed, realizing that Zhang Hao didn't know how to use the antipyretic plug, so she explained. Fever-reducing suppositories are not for oral administration, but for rectal administration. Rectal administration. Zhang Hao nodded thoughtfully. If this had happened before, he would definitely not understand what rectal administration meant. But after acquiring the super Chinese medicine skill, he knew everything about medical terms. Suddenly, a method to reduce fever for babies appeared in Zhang Hao's mind. Seeing that Su Yuyan was about to give Dabao rectal administration, he quickly spoke to stop her. Wait. What's wrong? Although fever-reducing suppositories can reduce fever, they have a stimulating effect and will affect the baby's kidney function. Although the effect is mild, that won't work. Let me do it. As he spoke, Zhang Hao moved to the bedside and massaged Dabao's white and tender arms with his hands. Su Yuyan on the side was stunned. What are you doing? Of course, it's to reduce Dabao's fever. Su Yuyan was stunned and asked again, are you sure you can do it? Don't worry. Zhang Hao had confidence on his face. He pressed on Dabao's arm for a while, and then pressed on the base of his thumb and back for a few minutes. Su Yuyan just watched quietly without saying a word. Although she didn't believe Zhang Hao could reduce Dabao's fever, she couldn't bear to disturb him when she saw how serious he was. She also knew that using antipyretic suppositories on babies was not good for their health, so she decided to wait and see. After more than 10 minutes, Zhang Hao stopped. Okay, take the baby's temperature and see if it has dropped. Oh. Su Yuyan nodded doubtfully and took Dabao's temperature immediately. But after taking the temperature, she suddenly looked surprised. 36.8 degrees, the fever has gone down. Seeing Zhang Hao smile, he continued to be surprised. Amazing, I didn't expect you to be able to do this. It's a piece of cake. Zhang Hao smiled and said, actually, this is not difficult, just massage 3 acupoints. Chinher acupoint is on the front of the arm, just massage in a straight line from the wrist to the joint. Higu acupoint is at the base of the thumb, and Das Hui acupoint is located in the depression below the spinous process of the 7th cervical vertebra. Massage these 3 acupoints and the fever will go down. Su Yuyan nodded slightly and kept Zhang Hao's words in mind. Because the baby is still young and has low resistance, it is easy to have a fever. If you have a fever, you can use this method to reduce the fever. Zhang Hao, I didn't expect you to know medical skills. Have you studied medicine before? Zhang Hao thought for a while and replied, well. No, I learned from books. These are daily tips. Oh. Su Yuyan nodded, and instantly gave Zhang Hao an extra label, careful. After all, I have been taking care of the baby for more than half a year, but I don't know this little trick to reduce fever. At least I am not as good as Zhang Hao in this aspect. At this time, Zhang Hao smiled and said, okay, now Dabao's fever has subsided, you go to eat first, I'll take care of the children. It's okay, you go to eat first, I'm not hungry now. Okay, then I'll eat first. Su Yuyan was no longer polite, got up and walked out of the bedroom. Zhang Hao looked at the three cute babies with a bright smile on his face. Little princesses, it's up to you next. Whoever learns to call dad first, I will buy her a lollipop tomorrow. Come on, call dad. Thinking of the 300,000 reward, Zhang Hao was immediately looking forward to it. But after teaching for a few minutes, the result was still the same as during the day, except that they could not call dad, but could make various different sounds. Come, look at my mouth shape, dad tilde. Big baby, big tilde. Erbao, pupper. Third baby, hey tilde. Hum. Zhang Hao raised his eyebrows and glared. You Sanbao, you dare to take advantage of dad, watch me beat your little butt. He tilde. Suddenly, a moving laugh came from behind. Zhang Hao looked back and saw that it was Su Yuyan who had eaten. I'm so angry, I taught the babies for a long time but they still can't call dad. Su Yuyan came to the bed with a smile. Babies, call mom. Mom tilde. The three cute babies shouted in unison, and they kept shouting. Zhang Hao widened his eyes, looking like he wanted to cry but couldn't. I've been teaching them for a long time and none of them can call me daddy. You just said it casually and they called me mommy. The babies are too partial. Su Yuyan smiled and said, that's because you've only seen the babies for 2 days. After a long time, they will naturally call me daddy. You should go eat first, it will be cold later. Zhang Hao smiled and said, my wife is considerate. After saying that, he turned and walked out of the bedroom. Su Yuyan looked at the door of the bedroom with a smile on her face. Although she heard Zhang Hao calling her wife again, she didn't feel awkward this time. And suddenly, she felt a sense of happiness. This feeling was just like being at home before. Although it's been a long time, it's very familiar. On the other side, Zhang Hao finished his meal as quickly as possible. When he was about to continue teaching the babies to call daddy, he saw 3 cute babies lying quietly on the bed. Although they were not asleep, they squinted their eyes slightly, obviously they were sleepy. Well, it's getting late, I should go back too. Call me if you have anything tonight. After that, Zhang Hao closed the door and turned to leave. Su Yuyan was stunned for a moment. She didn't expect Zhang Hao to leave on his own initiative. More than 10 minutes later, Zhang Hao returned to the dormitory door. Before knocking on the door, he sent a WeChat message to Su Yuyan. Don't worry, my wife. I'm back safely. HMPH, who is your wife? Sai tilde, how can a hand with a temperature of 37 degrees write such cold words? Sad. Blame me tilde, I didn't tell you to leave just now. Seeing the content of Su Yuyan's reply, Zhang Hao's eyes suddenly lit up. But when he was about to reply, a deafening voice suddenly rang out. Damn. Why are you back again, Haozi? Chapter 17 Teacher, you are sick. Keep your voice down. You're scaring your dad to death. Zhang Hao rubbed his ears, said something directly, and then replied to Su Yuyan's message with a smile. Then I'll go over now. No, the babies are asleep. Har, isn't that just right? Damn it, go to sleep. Zhang Hao smiled, put his phone in his pocket and stopped teasing Su Yuyan. Rat. Why are you back again? Surprised Zhao Yang asked again. Zhang Hao frowned slightly. Where can I go if I don't come back? Zhao Yang raised his eyebrows and glared. Of course you slept with Goddess Su. She wouldn't chase you back again, would she? That won't do. You're already a father, you can't keep running back. I tell you, girls like to take the initiative. You must be bolder and I guarantee you will win over Goddess Su. Zhang Hao's face suddenly turned black. Then he said disdainfully, if you are so experienced, why have you been single for 20 years? This. Zhao Yang was speechless for a moment, and curled his lips and said, you only know how to expose other people's shortcomings. Can we still have a pleasant chat? By the way, Nun Mi who said that you should go find her when you come back. What do you want to see her for? Zhang Hao was a little confused. But the next moment I suddenly understood. Needless to say, it must be about translating into English. At this time, Zhao Yang joked, what else can I do? I just fell in love with you because you are handsome. Roll. Zhang Hao spoke something beautiful in Chinese, then turned and left. Zhao Yang shouted, Haozi, take it easy, don't tire yourself out. Zhang Hao raised his middle finger without even turning his head. Boom boom boom. Arriving at the door of Master Mihu's dormitory, Zhang Hao knocked on the door. Enter Tilda. A calm voice sounded, with a hint of fatigue in the tone. Zhang Hao pushed the door open and saw Master Mihu sitting at the table reading a book. Mie. Teacher Li, you are looking for me. Li Yang raised her head and looked at Zhang Hao, a look of displeasure flashing in her eyes. Because the title of Nun Mihu was given by Zhang Hao. At first, only he and a few other boys in his dormitory called him that, but later on, the whole school knew about it. Although we are very strict with students, it is not for their academic performance. Zhang Hao, please do this paper. Li Yang took out an English test paper. Zhang Hao walked over and took a look, a smile appeared on his face. In the past, the English on the test paper would be like a book of incomprehensible origin. But now, it's as simple as addition and subtraction within 10. Okay, teacher. After he finished speaking, Zhang Hao picked up his pen and started writing, finishing the paper quickly. So fast. Li Yang looked surprised. It has only been 3 minutes since Zhang Hao picked up the pen, but he has already finished the test paper. Zhang Hao, are you just trying to fool the teacher? Li Yang frowned and said. Seeing that Zhang Hao smiled without saying anything, he took the test paper directly. But after looking at the questions Zhang Hao answered, the expression of surprise on his face became more and more obvious. How is this possible? They all got the answers right. You are so good at English, why did you fail every exam before? Zhang Hao thought for a moment and said, because I've been studying hard recently, my grades have improved all of a sudden. And it's not just English, other subjects are no problem as well. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhang Hao suddenly frowned. He suddenly realized from Master Mihu's expression that she was suffering from an illness. Teacher, you are sick. What did you say? Li Yang glared at him angrily. Zhang Hao. Although your academic performance has improved, you can't insult the teacher. You even nicknamed me Mihu Nun Tai. Believe it or not, I will punish you to clean the toilet for a week. Zhang Hao smiled and explained, Teacher, please don't be impulsive. I mean that you are sick. If I'm not mistaken, you've been suffering from insomnia and headaches lately, and your waist and knees are weak and your menstruation is irregular. This is caused by staying up late for a long time and having an irregular diet. Upon hearing this, Li Yang looked surprised. How do you know? Although I knew that I had a physical problem, I never told anyone about it. Not only did Zhang Hao see it, but he also got it all right. Of course I can tell by his facial expression. Zhang Hao smiled and said, but don't worry, the problem is not serious now, just take Chinese medicine to regulate it. After that, he wrote a prescription on the test paper with a pen. Teacher, just follow the prescription and take the medicine. Although you are worried about our studies, you should also take care of your health. You are like a candle, burning yourself to illuminate us, but the longer you burn, the more people you illuminate. Seeing that Nun Mihu was stunned, he continued, Teacher, if everything is fine, I will go back to the dormitory first. You must remember to get the medicine. After saying that, he turned and left. Li Yang looked at the prescription for a while, then folded it and put it in her pocket. The next morning, Zhang Hao woke up from his sleep. As soon as I opened my eyes, I couldn't wait to see the baby. Zhao Yang. Zhang Hao shouted loudly. Zhao Yang, who was sleeping soundly, sat up in shock and stared at Zhang Hao. Forehead. Zhang Hao's mouth twitched slightly, and he thought to himself, don't scare this kid to death. Remember to turn on the video for me when the class starts. Zhao Yang nodded dully, and the next moment, his eyes suddenly glared in anger. Today is Sunday and there is no school. Oh Tilda, then go back to sleep. Zhang Hao walked out of the dormitory with a smile. Zhao Yang fell on the bed with a thud. He was silent for a few seconds, then suddenly kicked the quilt wildly. It's so annoying. I was just having a sweet dream and got woken up by a rat. Rat, just wait for me. After a while, Zhang Hao arrived at the door of his home and pressed the doorbell. Ding dong Tilda. Who is it? Su Yuyan's lazy voice came. Your husband. Wait a minute Tilda. After hearing the response, Zhang Hao began to wait. But after waiting for more than 10 minutes, Su Yuyan still didn't open the door. Honey, are you in the bathroom? No, wait till I finish my makeup. Forehead. Zhang Hao's face suddenly turned black. Su Yuyan is so beautiful, does she still need to wear makeup? Wife, please let me in first. No. A resolute voice sounded, and Zhang Hao stopped urging. It seems that my wife wants to show her best side to me. After a few minutes, the door finally opened. Old. Just as Zhang Hao was saying hello, he suddenly froze. Su Yuyan was so beautiful at this moment. She was wearing a white dress that showed off her graceful figure. She had black hair that fell to her waist and light makeup on her face. She looked like a fairy. Wife, you are so beautiful today. Hearing Zhang Hao's praise, Su Yuyan immediately felt happy in her heart, but a look of displeasure appeared on her face. So I wasn't pretty before. No, you're beautiful every day. Well, I'm going to go check on the babies first. As he said that, he walked quickly towards the bedroom. Su Yuyan smiled. I didn't expect this big boy to have such a cute side. Wow tilde. Just then, a burst of crying suddenly rang out. Chapter 18. Dabao can call daddy now. The baby is awake. Su Yuyan walked quickly towards the bedroom. However, just halfway through the walk, the crying suddenly stopped. Su Yuyan was slightly stunned. When you walk into the bedroom, a warm scene comes into view. Zhang Hao was seen walking back and forth holding Erbao, patting Erbao's back gently with one hand. Erbao's little head was resting on Zhang Hao's shoulder and he fell asleep with a smile on his little face. Su Yuyan said softly, I'll go cook first, call me if you need anything. Okay, wife. You. Su Yuyan wanted to say something but stopped herself. She glared at Zhang Hao angrily and turned away. Zhang Hao smiled and continued to coax the second baby to sleep. Big white rabbit, so white, with 2 ears standing up. Suddenly, a scream was heard. That was Su Yuyan's voice. Zhang Hao quickly put Erbao on the court and ran into the bedroom. What's wrong? Su Yuyan was seen standing in front of the chopping board, one hand tightly grasping the index finger of the other hand, with a look of pain on her pretty face. It's okay. I accidentally cut my hand while cutting vegetables. Let me see. Zhang Hao walked over quickly, took his hand away and took a look, then immediately frowned. The wound was very deep, at least 2 millimeters. The blood gushed out and dripped onto the ground along the white jade fingers. The wound is so deep and you say it's okay. Do you have iodine or alcohol at home? When Su Yuyan heard the word alcohol, she suddenly became scared. Because being cut doesn't hurt, but if you use alcohol to disinfect, it will be very painful. No, I'll just find a band-aid and put it on. Although there was alcohol at home, he told Zhang Hao that there was none. Because for girls, one is fear of ghosts, and the other is fear of pain. Band-aids won't work. You have to disinfect it with alcohol first. Zhang Hao said seriously, if you don't have it, I'll go buy it. After saying that, he turned and left. Don't go. Su Yuyan quickly called Zhang Hao to stop, and seeing his determination, she had no choice but to obey. There is alcohol in the house. It's in the drawer under the coffee table in the living room. Then why do you say no? Because I'm afraid of pain. Forehead. Zhang Hao said no more and took the alcohol from the living room. But when he was about to disinfect Su Yuyan's hand, she pulled it out. I'm afraid of pain. It doesn't hurt. If the wound is not disinfected and becomes infected, you will have to go to the hospital for treatment, and it will be more painful then. Really? Of course, I lied to you that you were a puppy. All right. Seeing Su Yuyan turned her head to the side, Zhang Hao poured alcohol directly on the wound. As the saying goes, a short pain is worse than a long one. It would hurt to use a cotton swab, so I just poured it on directly. In an instant, intense pain came over her, stimulating Su Yuyan's nerves. Just as she opened her mouth to scream, no sound came out. Because the babies are sleeping, if the noise is too loud, it will wake them up. But at this time, Su Yuyan was suffering from pain and had to find a way to vent it. Then, he suddenly bit Zhang Hao's wrist. Hiss tilde. Zhang Hao gasped in pain. Why did you bite me? Su Yuyan did not respond because her mouth was occupied. After a while, he felt the pain eased and then he opened his mouth. Zhang Hao frowned slightly. Wife, are you born in the year of the dog? No, I'm a horse. You're born in the year of the horse. Then why do you bite people? What's the meaning? Su Yuyan looked puzzled. The next moment, I suddenly reacted. Okay, you are scolding me in disguise. As he said that, he opened his mouth and bit Zhang Hao's arm. Stop it, I'll go get a band-aid. Seeing this, Zhang Hao quickly dodged and quickly took out a band-aid. Come, I'll put it on for you. Zhang Hao peeled off the 2 pieces of white paper stuck on the tape and put the band-aid on the wound. When he saw the deep scar again, he suddenly felt distressed and his expression became solemn. Su Yuyan's expression changed slightly, and her eyes became a little dazed. This is the first time I've been taken care of in such a long time. Looking at the big boy in front of me, I suddenly felt warm in my heart. It's done. You take care of the babies while I cook. Su Yuyan nodded slightly. I'm sorry to bother you. We are a couple, why are you being so polite to me? TSK, who are you and I? More than an hour later. After breakfast, Zhang Hao washed the dishes and went to the bedroom. Seeing the 3 cute babies sitting on the bed playing with toys, he immediately came to the bedside with a smile. Babies, let's continue learning to call daddy today. Come, look at my mouth shape, dad tilde dad tilde. Although the 3 cute babies heard Zhang Hao's voice, none of them paid any attention to him. They were all concentrating on playing with their toys. Su Yuyan, who was sitting next to them, smiled and said, "You are too impatient. The babies are so young, how can they learn in a short time? When I taught the babies to call me mom, it took me half a month to learn." Zhang Hao smiled and nodded, looking at the 3 cute babies with satisfaction. Don't worry, the babies are so smart, they will call daddy sooner or later. As soon as he finished speaking, he suddenly heard Dabao speaking. Dad tilde dad tilde. Hearing these 2 words, Zhang Hao was stunned for a moment, and then he showed joy. Wife, did you hear that? Dabao just called me daddy. Zhang Hao was extremely excited. This feeling makes me happier than the first time I bought a sports car. You have to know that in order to buy a sports car, I didn't skip classes or go to the bar for a month. After a month of hard work, I finally got my parents' consent. But the feeling now is completely different from then. My vanity was satisfied by buying a sports car. But when I heard about calling me daddy, I felt so fulfilled inside, as if I owned the whole world. However, just as Zhang Hao was excited, he suddenly heard a system prompt. Ding, congratulations to the host for teaching Dabao to call him daddy. The 100,000 yuan bonus has been received. 100,000. Isn't it 300,000? Zhang Hao was a little confused, but suddenly understood the next moment. Because the task is to teach the 3 babies to call dad. Now I have only taught Dabao, so the reward is only 100,000. Is this system from the accounting field? The accounts are so clear. I heard it. The 3 babies are about the same age and have similar learning abilities. Since the first baby has learned it, the second and third babies will soon be able to call dad. Su Yuyan showed a relieved smile. I was also very happy to hear that Dabao learned to call me dad. Especially when I saw Zhang Hao's excitement, I suddenly felt the warmth of family. At this moment, Zhang Hao thought of something and took out his mobile phone from his pocket and started operating it. Ding dong tilde. Su Yuyan's WeChat notification sounded. Who sent the message? Today is Sunday and there is no need to prepare lessons. Is there something going on at school? While thinking, Su Yuyan slid the screen to unlock it. But when I opened WeChat, I suddenly looked surprised. Zhang Hao. Why did you transfer money to me? And it's 50,000 yuan. Zhang Hao said with a smile, aren't you short of money now? Spend it. Su Yuyan frowned slightly, but you don't have any money either. Where did you get so much money? It can't be borrowed. Then I absolutely cannot accept it. Chapter 19, is this guy here to eat for free? I didn't borrow it. I won it in the lottery. Zhang Hao made up an excuse. Although the money was a reward from the system, Su Yuyan would definitely not believe it if I told her about it, and might even think she had delusions. Su Yuyan was a little unconvinced. Is this true? Isn't it said that lotteries are all scams? Zhang Hao smiled and said, of course it's true. I won the second prize, 100,000 yuan after tax, and will split it in half. Since we have money now, you don't have to work anymore. I will support you and the baby and let you live a happy life. Su Yuyan was very moved after hearing this. But Zhang Hao's money cannot be taken. And you can't throw away your work. Forget it, I'll transfer the money to you because it's too much. As for work, I'm a teaching assistant at a teacher's college, which isn't too tiring. It's okay if you don't have time. There's a babysitter to take care of the baby. You can come over when you're free after school. As he said this, he was about to return the money to Zhang Hao. But at this moment, the phone was suddenly snatched away by Zhang Hao. Wife, I'll be angry if you keep doing this. Zhang Hao frowned slightly. You have been taking care of the baby with all your hard work before. Can't I just make up for it? I didn't say I didn't want to take care of the baby, I just didn't want to see you so tired. I'm the baby's father, and you're the baby's mother. Isn't it only natural that I should raise you? After saying this, he looked at Su Yuyan seriously. Su Yuyan was suddenly stunned, and at the same time felt heartbroken. This feeling of being cared for has not been felt for a long time. In an instant, the little woman's fragility was suddenly released. Moved, her eyes turned slightly red. Zhang Hao immediately said, I'm sorry, honey. I was too impulsive just now. Don't cry. Su Yuyan smiled and shook her head, wiping the tears from the corners of her eyes with her hands. No, I just want to move you. It's all because your words are too sentimental. Zhang Hao laughed when he heard this. I am speaking from the bottom of my heart. Remember, you are my wife, and I will take care of you for the rest of my life. Su Yuyan didn't say anything, but she felt very comforted. Unconsciously, a blush appeared on her face. A childish voice sounded. The three cute babies stopped playing with their toys and crawled towards Zhang Hao and Su Yuyan with smiles on their faces and drooling at the corners of their mouths. Su Yuyan picked up Bao, who was closest to her, and a smile spread across her face. Zhang Hao opened his arms and picked up Erbao and Sanbao together. Feeling the baby's soft and tender face against my own, my heart was instantly melted. Meow meow, Jing Jing, your sister Shinshin can already call dad, you have to work hard. Come, look at my mouth shape, dad tilde dad tilde. The morning passed quickly and it was noon in the blink of an eye. Honey, what do you want for lunch? Before going out to buy groceries, Zhang Hao asked Su Yuyan with a smile. Because we have to set up the stall in the afternoon, we have to prepare the vegetables in advance. Su Yuyan, who was watching the child, responded, all right. No, you have to say one. Well, then let's have a big plate of chicken. Su Yuyan talked about her favorite dish. Okay. Zhang Hao walked out of the house and went to the vegetable market to buy ingredients. An hour later. Boom boom boom. Wife, please help me open the door. Here I come. Hearing the sound, Su Yuyan hurried to the door of the living room. But when I opened the door, I was suddenly stunned. Why did you buy so much meat today? Zhang Hao was seen holding raw meat in his hands, as well as a lot of chicken and pig's trotters. Although there are vegetables, they are very few. Zhang Hao explained with a smile, because meat dishes sell for a high price and have a high profit, we make more meat dishes. Oh. Su Yuyan nodded slightly and said with a smile, I didn't expect you to have such a good business sense. You are not simple. Thank you, wife, for the compliment. Zhang Hao joked and walked into the kitchen carrying the ingredients. Su Yuyan also followed in. The babies are all sleeping. I'll help you. No, you rarely have a day off, I can do it myself. Fine. Without waiting for Zhang Hao to speak, he started to help. Zhang Hao stopped trying to persuade her and felt very happy at this moment. As the saying goes, work is not tiring when men and women work together. In less than an hour, all the raw meat was cut and marinated. Because in order to make it tasty, it must be marinated for a period of time. Okay, honey, go and rest. I'll cook. Well, thank you for your hard work. It's not hard to call me husband. Old, be honest. Su Yuyan glared at Zhang Hao resentfully, then turned and walked out of the kitchen. Zhang Hao smiled and started to make lunch. Time passed quickly and it was afternoon again. Seeing that the time was almost up, Zhang Hao decided to set up the stall. Wife, I'm going to set up the stall. You stay home and take care of the baby. Call me if you need anything. Well, I'll bring the baby to you later. No, it's cloudy today and a little cold outside. Don't let the baby catch a cold. Okay, we'll wait for you at home. Oh. Zhang Hao made an okay gesture and started to set up his stall. However, just after a dozen dishes were put on the table, 7 or 8 old men and women suddenly surrounded them. "Young man, why are you setting up the stall so late today? We have been waiting for a long time. Where are your 4 adorable babies? Why didn't they come out together? Young man, are you from this neighborhood? Can you set up a stall here every day?" Faced with a barrage of questions, Zhang Hao responded with a smile. "Today there are more meat dishes, so the preparation took a little longer. My wife is watching the babies at home. It's cold outside, so we didn't go out together. I'm in this neighborhood. I set up a stall every afternoon, and I serve different flavors every day." The old people smiled and nodded, and began to choose their favorite dishes. "Give me 2 pig's trotters. There's roast chicken today, give me 1. Then I want a roast chicken, too. Give me 1 serving of shredded pork in Beijing sauce and 1 serving of braised pork in brown sauce." While listening, Zhang Hao started packing the dishes into the lunch box. After those old people left, many people lined up to sell vegetables. In a short while, more than half of them were sold. "Not bad, the sales are pretty fast today. I'll sell out sooner and go home for dinner sooner." As he said this, he began to shout. "Don't miss it if you pass by. You can taste the freshly cooked food for free. If it doesn't taste good, you don't have to pay." Just as he finished speaking, a middle-aged man with a big head and thick neck walked over. The man frowned and asked, "Young man, can I try these dishes for free?" Zhang Hao smiled and said, "Of course, if it doesn't taste good, I won't charge you." "Well, let me try it." The man nodded, but after picking up the chopsticks, he began to taste each dish. Zhang Hao frowned when he saw it. Although it is a free tasting, it is impossible to try every dish. Is this guy here to eat for free? Chapter 20. He is my husband. Hey, how can I sell it if you taste it like this? Zhang Hao looked displeased. If this guy is here to cause trouble, just beat him up. At this time, the man tasted every dish and a look of amazement appeared on his face. "Young man, did you make all these dishes yourself? Would you like to buy it? I'll buy it if you make it yourself. Are you looking for trouble on purpose? Do you want to buy it or not?" Seeing that Zhang Hao was angry, the man thought for a moment and said, "Buy 1 of each." Zhang Hao was slightly stunned, and then began to pack the lunch box. Although I was puzzled as to why the man ordered 1 serving of each of the dozen dishes, since he was not there to cause trouble, why should I care so much about him? Okay, that's $315 total. The man took out his mobile phone, scanned the code to pay, and then left with the vegetables. Zhang Hao couldn't help but look at the man for a while longer. He saw him get into a car and then drive forward. Maybe there's a party or something, otherwise they wouldn't buy so much. Having said that, Zhang Hao prepared to continue shouting. But just as he was about to speak, he saw Su Yuyan pushing a baby carriage towards him. Inside the stroller, 3 cute babies were wearing autumn clothes with cartoon patterns and white hats with rabbit ears, looking extremely adorable. "It's so cold outside, why did you push the babies out?" Su Yuyan smiled and said, "The babies just ate and couldn't stay idle in the house, so they came out to relax. Don't worry, you won't catch a cold wearing such thick clothes." After he finished speaking, he noticed that the plates were almost empty, and he was immediately surprised. "You've only been out for half an hour, and you've sold out all the vegetables so quickly." Well, the ones who came at the beginning were all repeat customers. More than half of them were sold out right away. "It seems like we need to make more tomorrow." Su Yuyan nodded slightly, and when she was about to tell Zhang Hao not to be too tired, she suddenly frowned. She suddenly saw a red Lamborghini speeding towards her. The key point is that there is a very cute 2-dimensional anime pattern on the hood of the car. Looking around the whole Haicheng, I'm afraid there is no one else except my cousin Zhang Suhuairo who drives this kind of car. Soon, the red Lamborghini stopped not far from the stall, but it did not turn off the engine. The main driver's window slowly lowered, revealing a beautiful and charming face. That was Suhuairo, with a mocking look on his face. "Oh my god, Tilder, the famous young master Zhang is actually setting up a stall on the street. If this gets out, it will make people laugh to death, hee hee." When Zhang Hao saw that it was this sissy, he immediately became furious. "You bastard, you can't change your nature. Get out of here now. HMPH. You shameless bastard, aren't you a nurse taking care of the baby? Why are you setting up a stall here? If I'm not mistaken, you must be planning to take advantage of my cousin. I think you are just a toad wanting to eat swan meat. After saying that, he continued to say to Su Yuyan, cousin, don't be fooled by this boy. Although he used to be a rich second generation, he is now just a poor loser. We kicked him out of the group a long time ago because he was not qualified to play with us. His family has gone bankrupt, and his parents are nowhere to be found in order to avoid debt. He lives a life worse than a stray dog. Humph. Zhang Hao clenched his fists in anger, his chest burning with rage. But just as he was about to rush over and beat up this sissy, he suddenly heard Su Yuyan speak angrily. Shut up. Have you said enough? Su Huairou was stunned for a moment, and seeing Su Yuyan glaring at her, she raised her eyebrows and glared angrily. Well, your cousin, you actually dared to be mean to me for an outsider. He's not an outsider. He's the baby's father. He's my husband. Su Yuyan blurted out. But as soon as she finished speaking, she was stunned. Because his cousin humiliated Zhang Hao, he told the truth in anger. Su Huairou said in confusion, what did you say? Zhang Hao is the father of the child. Su Yuyan pursed her red lips. Realizing that I could no longer hide it, I simply stopped hiding it. Yes, he is the biological father of the child. You can tell anyone you want. Su Huairou looked at Zhang Hao in surprise. But at this moment, seeing Zhang Hao walking towards him with a smile, he was startled and quickly stepped on the accelerator. Boom! With the roar of the engine, the sports car rushed out. Cousin, you are done for. I will tell uncle about this right away and see how he will deal with you. The triumphant voice and the sports car disappeared on the street. Su Yuyan frowned slightly, with an uneasy look on her face. She didn't expect that the truth would be spoken out suddenly. It was all because of his cousin humiliating Zhang Hao and making him angry that he let the cat out of the bag in anger. What should I do? What if my parents find out? They will definitely come to our house. Su Yuyan stamped her feet in annoyance. Then, she quickly looked at Zhang Hao and said, why don't you leave quickly? My parents will definitely come over soon. If I don't call you, don't come over. Zhang Hao smiled and shook his head, feeling warm in his heart. Especially when he heard Su Yuyan call him husband just now, he secretly swore in his heart that he must protect this woman for the rest of his life and not allow anyone to hurt her. It's okay, even if you're dad. Just as Zhang Hao was about to say that he had met his future father-in-law, an excited voice rang out. Manager, those vegetables are bought here. When Zhang Hao looked in the direction of the sound, he saw two people walking towards him. One of them was the man I had just met. He was the one who bought more than a dozen dishes. The other man was dressed in a suit and tie, and it was obvious that he was not an ordinary person. Young man, did you make all these dishes yourself? The man in the suit asked Zhang Hao in a very polite tone. Zhang Hao smiled and nodded, yes, any problem. The man in the suit's eyes suddenly lit up and he quickly took out a business card from his pocket. Hello, my name is Wang Fugui, and I'm the manager of Haicheng Shanghai Hotel. What's the matter? Zhang Hao took the business card and asked casually. The man smiled and said, it's like this. I tasted the dishes you cooked and found that your cooking skills are very good, so I want to invite you to be a chef in our hotel. Not interested. Zhang Hao refused without even thinking. I have to take care of my baby, so I don't have the time to be a chef. The man did not give up and opened his palm directly. Young man, if you agree, I will give you this amount every month, how about it? 50,000. Zhang Hao laughed. I make 7,000 8,000 yuan a day from my stall, which means 70,000 80,000 yuan in 10 days. You make 50,000 yuan a month? Who are you looking down on? When the man heard Zhang Hao complain that the money was too little, he immediately felt that there was a chance and started bargaining. Look, little brother, even though you make 7 or 8,000 every day, there must be times when you buy less. Besides, you are so young, it would be embarrassing to set up a stall. Before the man could finish his words, he was interrupted by Zhang Hao. No deal. I won't go even if you give me $1 million. Chapter 21 requires extra money. Young man, why are you so stubborn? How about I offer you $1 million a year? Zhang Hao shook his head, looking slightly impatient. Don't you understand what I'm saying? The man frowned and gave up the idea of hiring Zhang Hao. One is that he doesn't agree. The second thing is that he has a bad temper. If you are bullied at work, you will definitely quit your job, and this is the most taboo in the catering industry. But when I think of Zhang Hao's superb cooking skills, I feel a little reluctant. After thinking for a moment, I suddenly thought of a solution. Little brother, how about this? How about you sell me the secret recipe of each dish? I'll pay a high price. Zhang Hao laughed and said, secret recipe? What kind of secret recipe is that? Before he could finish his words, his voice suddenly stopped. Zhang Hao narrowed his eyes slightly, his brain working rapidly. After thinking it over, his expression became serious. To be honest, my cooking recipes are all inherited from my ancestors. My grandfather's grandfather used to be a royal chef in the palace, cooking for the emperor. The man frowned and nodded, I understand. Since it is an heirloom, it must not be leaked to others. Sorry for disturbing you. After saying this, he turned and left. Zhang Hao was stunned for a moment, then quickly said, don't go, I didn't say I won't sell it, I mean it's inherited from my ancestors, so I have to pay more. The man was also stunned for a moment, then he laughed, that's easy, you decide the price. Zhang Hao thought for a moment and said, each vegetarian dish is worth 10,000 yuan, and each meat dish is worth 30,000 yuan. Hearing the price, the man suddenly hesitated. Little brother, the price you mentioned is too high. 2,000 for vegetarian dishes and 8,000 for meat dishes is about right. That won't work. Zhang Hao glared and said, this secret recipe of mine is passed down from my ancestors. If I sell it to you, it would be a betrayal and a heinous crime. One price, buy if you want. If you don't buy it, I'll sell it to another hotel. Don't blame me if I take your business away from you. Hearing this, the man hesitated again. Considering the profit from each dish, the revenue of the hotel, and future competition, I think it is not unacceptable. After all, we can't just look at the present, we have to look further ahead. Okay, I'll go back and discuss it with my boss and tell you the result as soon as I get it. But let me make it clear in advance that this matter is settled. You can't sell it to anyone else. Zhang Hao patted his chest and said, don't worry, I have principles and have never cheated anyone. The man nodded, asked for Zhang Hao's phone number and left. Zhang Hao smiled brightly. There are at least hundreds of cooking recipes. It is no exaggeration to say that with his superb cooking skills, there is no dish that he cannot cook. If sold to a hotel, it could fetch at least tens of millions. You finally find a chance to make money, why not seize it? Hey. Thinking of this, Zhang Hao couldn't help but laugh out loud. However, Su Yuyan on the side frowned slightly, her pretty face full of melancholy. You're still laughing. It will be troublesome if my parents come over later. You'd better leave quickly. I'll call you after this is over. It's all right. Zhang Hao smiled and said, it doesn't matter if my future father-in-law comes, because we have already met. Su Yuyan opened her mouth and asked in surprise, you have met my dad. Is this true? Zhang Hao told the truth, of course it's true. Yesterday at noon, he came to see the baby and saw me. Although I promised the nanny to keep it a secret, I thought about it and felt that it was unnecessary. After all, they are biological father and daughter. If there is a conflict, they should find a way to resolve it instead of keeping it in a stalemate. Then let me tell you what your reaction was. Did he say anything to you? Hearing Su Yuyan's question, Zhang Hao smiled and said, when I said I was the baby's father, you rolled up your sleeves and wanted to beat me, but then he got a phone call and left. Su Yuyan nodded slightly. Unexpectedly, Zhang Hao's father found out. But why didn't he come here with his mother later? Are you really not going to care about yourself anymore? Definitely not, otherwise Dad wouldn't he come to see the baby. I didn't expect that. My dad has always been caring about me. Thinking of this, Su Yuyan's eyes turned red and she suddenly felt heartbroken. Zhang Hao continued, wife, let me tell you to go home and explain this matter clearly. Nothing is impossible, especially when we are family. If you're embarrassed, I'll go with you tonight. Su Yuyan quickly shook her head, no, I can't go home now. Why? Because. Su Yuyan hesitated to speak. Because she didn't know why. After all, that happened more than a year ago. Although it is a hurdle in my heart, it is not easy to buy it over. You set up the stall. I'll take the baby back. Leaving a word, Su Yuyan pushed the baby into the community. Zhang Hao shook his head helplessly. Although it was Su Yuyan's family affair, I was also worried about it. No, we must find a way to resolve this conflict. It's not a good idea to keep it like this. After making up his mind, Zhang Hao adjusted his mentality and started shouting again. Take a look, don't miss it if you pass by. A secret recipe handed down from my ancestors to make a stir-fry. If it doesn't taste good, you don't have to pay for it. If you don't buy it now, it will be gone. Just then, an old man walked over slowly with his hands behind his back. The old man smiled, revealing his few remaining yellow teeth. Young man, is it really free to taste? If it doesn't taste good, will you charge me? Yes, sir. Then I'll try it. Okay, here are the chopsticks. No, I brought it myself. Forehead. The old man took out a pair of wooden chopsticks from his pocket, wiped them on his sleeves, picked up a piece of pork head and started eating. Not tasty. The old man shook his head and picked up another piece of braised pork. After tasting it with gusto, he shook his head and said, this one isn't tasty either. After he finished speaking, he placed his other hand in front of him, holding a bottle of erguitu. After unscrewing the bottle cap and taking a sip of wine, he continued to taste it. Oh shit! Zhang Hao raised his eyebrows and glared. Uncle, you are going too far. 10 minutes later, Zhang Hao closed his stall and went home. As for the old man, in order not to affect his business, he was directly given a portion of pig head. This kind act immediately attracted praise from many people, and they bought all the remaining vegetables. Honey, I'm back. I sold 12,000 today and made a net profit of more than 8,000. After he finished speaking, Su Yuyan came out of the bedroom. Well, thank you for your hard work. Wash your hands and eat. Zhang Hao's eyes lit up. Wow, honey, you can cook too. Su Yuyan cast a resentful look. Do I look like someone who can't cook? No. Zhang Hao smiled and shook his head, then walked towards the kitchen. Ding-a-ling. Suddenly, the cell phone rang. I took it out and saw it was an unfamiliar number. But after answering the call, a familiar voice came. Little brother, I am Wang Fuguei. Chapter 22 Negotiation Failure. I told my boss about buying the secret recipe, and he said money is not a problem, but he needs you to come over for a meeting. Okay, I'll come over after dinner. Eat. This is a hotel. We will treat you warmly when you come. No, my wife has already prepared the meal. I'll call her when I get there. Zhang Hao hung up the phone with a smile on his face. I was overjoyed at the thought of making $1 million soon. As soon as I have money, I will buy a car and a house first, so that my wife and babies can live a better life. At this time, Su Yuyan asked, are you going out? Zhang Hao smiled and nodded. It's about selling the secret recipe today. I'll go meet with the owner of Shanghai Hotel later. Oh, let's eat first. Su Yuyan nodded slightly and sat at the dining table with a somewhat melancholy look on her face. Although my dad has met Zhang Hao, he is still worried that my parents will come to visit. Moreover, the scene when he saw Zhang Hao was just as he had imagined. He would definitely attack him, but fortunately they didn't fight. Honey, where are the babies? Are they all sleeping? Zhang Hao asked, then sat down at the dining table. Su Yuyan replied absent-mindedly, yeah, they all fell asleep. Zhang Hao said no more, picked up his chopsticks and started eating. Come, let me taste the food my wife cooked. After saying this, he picked up a piece of spicy and sour potato shreds with chopsticks and put it into his mouth. The next moment, his brows suddenly twisted together. Su Yuyan asked immediately after seeing this, what's wrong? Is the food not tasty? Zhang Hao answered the question irrelevantly, wife, have you never cooked before? Very rarely. I usually eat at school. If I'm at home, I just cook porridge. Oh, so that's how it is. Is it because the food is not tasty? Why, it's delicious. As he spoke, Zhang Hao began to eat voraciously. Su Yuyan frowned slightly, and when she was about to pick up the chopsticks to take a bite, she was stopped by Zhang Hao. Wife, you cooked too few dishes. I still don't have enough to eat. Also, leave the cooking to me from now on. You are very tired from work during the day, so take a good rest after work. Hearing these words, Su Yuyan suddenly felt warm in her heart. Even when he saw Zhang Hao pour a whole plate of shredded potatoes into his bowl, he didn't get angry. But for some reason, I always felt that Zhang Hao's expression when he was eating was weird. It's like he's holding back something. Honey, I'm full. Call me if you need anything. After leaving a word, Zhang Hao walked out of the kitchen and went to the bedroom to check on the three cute babies. Seeing that the babies were sleeping soundly, he walked out of the house with peace of mind. At this time, Su Yuyan saw that there were still a few shredded potatoes on the plate, so she picked up the chopsticks to taste them. But as soon as I put it in my mouth, tears suddenly welled up in my eyes. One was that she was stimulated by the spicy and sour taste of the dish, and the other was that she was moved by Zhang Hao's tolerance. Although the food tasted terrible, Su Yuyan still swallowed it. Husband Tilder. Shanghai Hotel, Manager's Office. This is Wang Fugui's office, but he is standing in front of his desk. Behind the desk sat a fat man in his 30s, with a nice face but small eyes, nose and mouth. The fat man had very fair skin and it was obvious that he was a frequent sauna and massage goer. He wore gold-rimmed glasses and had a shiny black slicked back hair. The fat man is named Liu Huaqiang. He is the owner of Shanghai Hotel and a well-known figure in Haicheng. Fugia, that boy hasn't come yet. It should be soon, Brother Chiang. He said he'll come over after dinner. Wang Fugui nodded with a smile on his face. Although he is a few years older than Liu Huaqiang, one must respectfully call him Brother Chiang in front of him. One reason is that he is his boss, and the other is that he knows that he has a strong background. Liu Huaqiang nodded arrogantly, picked up a cigarette from the table, lit it, took a deep puff and continued, when that guy comes later, we will use courtesy first and then force. If he doesn't agree to sell the secret recipe to us at a low price, don't even think about leaving this room. Wang Fugui nodded reluctantly. Although I know that my boss is forcing me to do something, I can't do anything about it. And because the young man asked for too high a price, the boss got angry. Now we can only hope that the young man can compromise so as to avoid physical pain. Boom boom boom. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Brother Chiang, it must be that young man who is here. Having said that, Wang Fugui quickly turned around and walked to the door. I opened the door and saw two people standing outside. One is a hotel waiter and the other is Zhang Hao. Little brother, you are here, please come in. Zhang Hao nodded slightly and walked into the office. However, when he saw Liu Huaqiang sitting inside, a smile appeared on his face. Fatty, long time no see. Wang Fugui's body trembled when he heard the sound. Although everyone knows that Fatty is the boss nickname, few people dare to call him that. Only those who have a higher status than the boss dare to call him by his nickname. At this moment, Liu Huaqiang suddenly looked surprised. Mr. Zhang, why is it you? Why can't it be me? Zhang Hao responded with a smile, sat down on the sofa without any hesitation, and crossed his legs. Liu Huaqiang frowned, because he suddenly thought that the current Zhang Hao is no longer the former Zhang Shao. In the past, Zhang Hao was the son of a billionaire with a net worth of over 10 billion yuan, and his father Zhang Kaoyang's name even appeared on the rich list. But now Zhang Hao is just a poor boy. Thinking of this, he said indifferently, did I ask you to sit down? Get up. Zhang Hao's expression changed slightly, and the next moment he started laughing again. I've spent a lot of money with you before. If not 2 million, I've spent at least 1 million. I didn't expect you to look at me with tinted glasses. Since there's no old relationship, let's get straight to the point. The vegetarian recipes are 10,000 each, and the meat recipes are 30,000 each. Not a penny less. Snort. Liu Huaqiang snorted with disdain, his expression darkening. I think you are crazy because of poverty. I won't waste my time. The vegetarian dishes are 5,000 and the meat dishes are 10,000. Zhang Hao narrowed his eyes slightly. If that's the case, then there's nothing to discuss. I'll have to sell the secret recipe to another hotel. After saying this, he slowly stood up. Liu Huaqiang was angry. I am not talking to you. You have to agree to it whether you agree or not. Otherwise, don't even think about leaving this door. Wang Fugui immediately added a message to persuade him, little brother, just let me say it and you will agree. Why bother to make things difficult for yourself? After all, it was he who called Zhang Hao. There is nothing I can do when facing such a tyrannical boss. I would feel bad if Zhang Hao got beaten. Zhang Hao smiled without any panic. Fatty, what if I insist on leaving? Liu Huaqiang didn't say anything, just clapped his hands twice. Boom boom boom. Accompanied by a burst of chaotic footsteps, 7 or 8 strong men rushed in from outside. Liu Huaqiang threatened with a fierce look on his face, Zhang Hao, I'm giving you one last chance. If you... Ding-a-ling. Suddenly, Zhang Hao's cell phone rang. When I took it out and looked at it, the 3 words, Su Yuyan, were displayed on the screen. Don't talk, I'm going to take a call first. Zhang Hao pointed at Liu Huaqiang and answered the phone. A nervous voice came from the receiver, Zhang Hao, my parents are here. Chapter 23, Dowry, 100 million. I'll be right back. The call ends. Zhang Hao was dazed holding the phone. He, who had always been fearless, suddenly felt a little at a loss. Although I know that I will meet my future father-in-law and mother-in-law sooner or later. But when I think about the upcoming meeting, I don't know how to deal with it. Because this matter is complicated. One is the matter between himself and Su Yuyan. The second is about Su Yuyan and her family. The third is what Su Yuyan's parents think of her. Just when Zhang Hao's thoughts were in a mess, Liu Huaqiang's angry voice rang out. Boy, if you don't agree, don't even think about walking out of this door. Zhang Hao breathed out through his nostrils, anger showing on his face. Then, he looked at the strong men coldly, if you want to fight, don't waste time. I'm anxious to go home. Oh my god, so arrogant. Seeing Zhang Hao's fearless look, the strong men immediately felt insulted. Without waiting for Brother Qiang's order, they pounced on it like a pack of wolves seeing a lamb. Bang bang bang. After the dull sound, the room returned to silence. 7 or 8 strong men were lying on the ground, groaning. Zhang Hao stood upright in the center of the burly men, like a god of war. Liu Huaqiang was stunned. He didn't expect Zhang Hao to be such a good fighter. In his eyes, Zhang Hao is just a rich second generation who only knows how to eat, drink and have fun. Could it be that he has been hiding his true identity all along? Although he looks down and out on the surface, is there a deeper background? Thinking of this, Liu Huaqiang suddenly panicked. At this time, Zhang Hao turned around and his cold eyes fell on Liu Huaqiang. I have something to go back first, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Leaving behind a harsh remark, Zhang Hao walked towards the door. Mr. Zhang, please stay. Liu Huaqiang spoke quickly, and this time he put on a smiling face. Brother was just joking with you just now, I hope you don't mind. How about this, I will buy your secret recipe at the price you said. Zhang Hao paused when he heard the voice, a smile appeared on his lips, and he continued to walk out of the room. A few minutes later, Zhang Hao took a taxi back to the community. On their way back, I received 2 messages. One was from Wang Fugui, little brother, I'm really sorry, I'm just doing something for my boss, I hope you won't be angry. The other one was from my good friend Zhao Yong, Haozi, where do you live? Let's go find you and take a look at your 3 cute babies. Zhang Hao did not respond to either of the 2 messages. Along the way, all I could think about was how to face Su Yuyan's parents. I've even thought about what they will ask and how I should answer. Soon, Zhang Hao arrived at the door of his house. He took a deep breath and reached out to knock on the door. Boom boom boom. Da da da. The sound of high heels stepping on the ground came from far away. The door opened and Su Yuyan's pretty figure came into view, but her face was full of worry. I'm back. Zhang Hao spoke with a smile, and when he saw Su Yuyan nodded and turned to walk into the room, he followed her in. There were only 2 people sitting on the sofa. One of them is my future father-in-law whom I met yesterday. The other one looked like a young girl, wearing a red dress. She had a very graceful figure, fair skin, delicate features, and long black hair that fell to her waist. She was as beautiful as Su Yuyan. Although everyone knew that she was Su Yuyan's mother, if the mother and daughter walked on the street, they would definitely be mistaken for sisters. At this time, Zhang Hao looked at Su Yuyan with a faint smile. Yuyan, didn't you say your uncle and aunt are here? Why do I only see your uncle and your sister? Where's your aunt? Su Yuyan was slightly surprised and suddenly froze for a moment. Su's mother narrowed her eyes slightly, adding a hint of smile to her cold expression. Young man, I am Yuyan's mother. Zhang Hao pretended to be surprised and said, really? I'm so sorry, you look too young, I thought you were Yuyan's sister. No way, I'm old and ugly, you're such a sweet talker. Sue's mother smiled somewhat uncomfortably. After all, as a woman, who can resist being considered a young and pretty girl? Cough. Father Su suddenly coughed and looked at Zhang Hao with displeasure. Xiao Zhang, please stop being so talkative. I despise people like you who are so slick. Before you came back, Yu Yan told us everything. After careful consideration and considering the situation of the three babies, I allow you to be with Yu Yan. Upon hearing this, Zhang Hao looked delighted. I thought I would have to go through a heated argument before I could hope to gain the approval of Sue's father and mother. I didn't expect that he agreed suddenly. Happiness comes too suddenly. Don't worry, uncle and aunt. I will not let you down and will take care of Yu Yan and the baby wholeheartedly for the rest of their lives. After saying this, he looked at Su Yuyan with a smile. But at this moment, she looked sad. Zhang Hao's expression changed slightly. It's strange, both the elders agreed, why does she still look unhappy? When I was confused, I heard Su's father speak. Don't be too happy yet. Although I let you stay, it's only to make it easier for you to take care of the babies. If you want to be Yu Yan's husband and the baby's father, you must meet my requirements. Zhang Hao asked, what's the request? Father Su said seriously, in half a year, make 100 million. 100 million. Zhang Hao looked surprised. That's right. If you can make 100 million in half a year, I will marry my daughter to you. If you can't do that, you will never see my daughter and baby again. As soon as he finished speaking, Su Yuyan's complaining voice rang out. Dad, aren't you making things difficult for Zhang Hao? He has nothing right now, how can he possibly make 100 million in half a year? I don't agree. Father Su stood up with a serious look. It's useless for you to disagree. This is the condition I put forward to Zhang Hao. If he doesn't have this ability, he doesn't deserve to be my son-in-law. Then, he turned his head to Zhang Hao and said indifferently, if you don't have confidence in yourself, you can give up now. I will give you 2 million and never harass my daughter and baby again. Zhang Hao's expression became serious and his eyes were extremely firm. Uncle, I promise to prepare a betrothal gift of 100 million within half a year. I hope you won't regret it by then. I am a man of my word, but the 100 million must be earned by yourself. Borrowing does not count. No problem. Seeing Zhang Hao's serious look, Father Su nodded and walked towards the door. Seeing this, Su's mother immediately got up and followed. When she passed by Zhang Hao, she whispered, Xiao Zhang, I'm counting on you. Thank you, auntie. Call me sister. Forehead. Zhang Hao stood there in a daze. Then, Su Yuyan saw her parents off and hurried back. She said anxiously, Zhang Hao, what are you thinking? That's 100 million, and the deadline is only half a year. How can you do it? Even if you refuse, I have a way to make you stay. Zhang Hao smiled and asked, what's the solution? Su Yuyan lowered her head slightly, a blush on her face. Chapter 24, A Family of 5, Birthday on the Same Day. I stole the household registration book from home, and let's go get the certificate. Upon hearing this, Zhang Hao couldn't help but laugh. I didn't expect that Su Yuyan, who seemed quiet, actually had such a wild side. But this method absolutely won't work. No. No. Su Yuyan was slightly stunned, then frowned. Why not? Don't you want to get the marriage certificate with me? Or do you suddenly regret it? Zhang Hao quickly said, absolutely not, what are you thinking? Because I want to prove through practical actions that I have the ability to bring happiness to you and the baby. Besides, I'm 21 years old, not yet of legal marriage age. I have to wait 6 months after my birthday to be of marriageable age. By the way, how old are you? Su Yuyan replied, 19, born in the year of the horse. After saying this, he suddenly thought of something and continued, it's still half a year until my birthday. What's your birthday? October 1st. October 1st. Su Yuyan looked surprised. Zhang Hao's expression changed slightly, and he asked with a smile, wife, you won't have my birthday on the same day, will you? Su Yuyan nodded, not just the two of us, the 3 babies were also born on October 1st. Upon hearing this, Zhang Hao's face was filled with surprise. This is such a coincidence. My wife and babies have the same birthday as me. I'm afraid there's no other company like this in the whole country. At this moment, Su Yuyan suddenly laughed. In fact, the babies were not supposed to be born on October 1st, but it was the due date. Because it was triplets, the doctor recommended a cesarean section. Plus, I was afraid of pain, so I had a cesarean section that day. Zhang Hao nodded slightly and his expression became serious. Although I have never given birth to a child, I know that giving birth is very painful for women. The 10-month pregnancy process is extremely difficult, and one has to endure the pain of broken bones during delivery. Even though it was a cesarean section, it was still very painful. Thank you for your hard work, my dear. I swear that I will never let you suffer anymore and I will make sure that you are happy every day. After saying this, he held Su Yuyan's hand tightly. Su Yuyan's heartbeat suddenly accelerated and her face instantly turned red. I wanted to pull my hand out of Zhang Hao's hand, but he was too strong and I couldn't pull it out at all. Let go. I won't let go. Zhang Hao had a smile on his face and there was tenderness in his eyes. Su Yuyan no longer resisted. Although she was shy, she could feel the warmth of Zhang Hao's palm and suddenly felt a sense of intimacy. However, at this moment, Zhang Hao actually reached out and lifted his clothes. Su Yuyan was so frightened that she quickly took a step back and said unhappily, "What do you want to do? Don't go too far. Don't get me wrong, honey. I just want to see the scar." "No. Wife, I have a way to remove the scar." "I don't believe it." "Really? People from Haicheng don't lie to people from Haicheng. I don't trust you." At this time, there was a black Hongqi L5 car on the roadside at the entrance of the community. Su's father Su Jianlin and Su's mother Xie Yuher sat in the back. At this moment, Xie Yuher had a look of resentment on her face. "Humph, you are such a fool. Why are you making things difficult for Xiao Zhang? Didn't you hear what my daughter said? Xiao Zhang can cook and is ambitious. I think this kid is pretty good." Su Jianlin frowned and said seriously, "What do you know as a woman? If you want to be my son-in-law, you must have something extraordinary. Then you can't go too far. I'm going to make 100 million in half a year. Can you do that? Why can't I? I just negotiated a project last month, which brought more than 100 million yuan in profits to the Su Group. TSK, if it weren't for the foundation laid by the old man, could you have made 100 million? If you were Xiao Zhang, could you have made 100 million in half a year? Besides, even if you brought more than 100 million in profit to the company, how much could you have earned? 1 million. Upon hearing this, Su Jianlin immediately became unhappy. If you can't speak, just shut up. The company was built by the old man, and the money earned belongs to the Su family. There should be no division of interests among family members. Xie Yuher snorted, "You think so, but does your brother think so? He wants to get more shares just because he has a son. Although Shero is a boy, he is not as masculine as our daughter. It will be hard for him to find a wife in the future." "Shut up. Give me a son if you can." "Humph, the gender of a baby is determined by the man's genes. You blame me for your own failure. You." Su Jianlin was so angry that he was speechless. After all, it was true. The baby may be a boy or a girl, but I feel that the chromosomes in the man's body. Xie Yuher continued to complain, "I still want to see the babies, but you left without saying a few words. I even doubt whether my daughter is your biological child." Su Jianlin glared angrily, "You haven't finished yet, right? Go home and sleep." "Humph, I sleep alone, what else can you do except drool all over my face?" Upon hearing this, Su Jianlin puffed out his chest in anger. Seeing this, Xie Yuher raised her eyebrows and glared, "Why, do you still want to hit me?" Su Jianlin exhaled heavily, because he respected his wife very much. How could he possibly hit her? Then, he said to the driver unhappily, "Xiao Wang, don't you want to do this anymore?" "Sorry, boss. I'll leave right away." After saying this, the driver Xiao Wang drove forward with a look on his face. Xie Yuher, "Humph, you only know how to take your anger out on Xiao Wang, are you still a man?" Su Jianlin turned his head to look out the window, his face turning blue with anger. "Meow meow, call daddy. Jing Jing, call me daddy." In the bedroom, Zhang Hao very patiently taught Erbao and Sanbao to call dad. Because a day and a half has passed on this mission. If they still cannot be taught after birth, they will face system punishment. Although the system is very magical, I have not made any money so far, and I still owe the system more than 200,000 yuan. I really don't know whether this system is here to help me or to punish me. Dad tilde. A childish voice sounded. But this time it was our eldest child Shinshin who called us dad. Hey tilde, Shinshin is awesome. Zhang Hao smiled, but there was a hint of bitterness in his smile. At this time, Su Yuyan glanced at the time. Okay, it's almost 10 o'clock, the babies should go to bed, you go back. Zhang Hao smiled and said, wife, didn't you say yesterday that I could stay? Seeing Su Yuyan nod, Zhang Hao's heart was immediately filled with joy. So where do I sleep? With the baby or in another bedroom? It's not possible anywhere. Yesterday is yesterday and today is today, so you should go back to school and be careful on the road. Okay, you dare to play tricks on me. As he spoke, Zhang Hao stood up and approached Su Yuyan, who was lying on the bed step by step. What do you want to do? Su Yuyan covered her chest with her hands, looking a little uneasy. I want to say good night to you. Zhang Hao said this in a very domineering tone, then turned and left. When Su Yuyan came back to her senses, she looked at the door and said resentfully, silly girl, you left just because I told you to. Do you really want me to tell you to stay and sleep? At this time, Zhang Hao walked out of the community. While standing on the roadside waiting for a taxi, I saw a Cadillac Escalade parked not far away, slowly driving towards me. Chapter 25, What are married men most afraid of? Mr. Zhang, I finally got you. The passenger window slowly rolled down, revealing a chubby, smiling face. This person was none other than Liu Huaqiang, the owner of Shanghai Hotel. Zhang Hao frowned slightly. Are you still looking for trouble? No. Liu Huaqiang said quickly, I was too impulsive just now. I hope Zhang Xiao can forgive me. I am here to buy the secret recipe. I will pay according to the price you said. Okay. Zhang Hao agreed without any hesitation. Although I made an enemy of the fat man in the hotel, I can tolerate anything as long as I can make money. After all, I agreed to my father-in-law's request and made 100 million in half a year. For the sake of my wife and baby, I have to do it no matter what. At this time, Liu Huaqiang gave a thumbs up and said, Mr. Zhang is really generous. Let's find a place to talk. Let's go. I haven't eaten yet. After he finished speaking, Zhang Hao opened the back door and got in. Liu Huaqiang's expression changed slightly, and he became more determined in his previous thoughts. Confidence comes from strength. Zhang Hao is so arrogant, he must have someone backing him up. After a while, the car arrived at Shanghai Hotel. In the most luxurious box, Zhang Hao was warmly received. In addition to Liu Huaqiang, Wang Fugui was also accompanying him, and he looked at Zhang Hao with great respect. Liu Huaqiang was all smiles. Brother Zhang, how many secret recipes do you have in total? How many are vegetarian and how many are meat dishes? Wait until I'm full. Zhang Hao said this while eating. Because he was too hungry. I had planned to have a midnight snack after leaving Su Yuyan's house before returning to school, but I didn't expect to meet Liu Huaqiang, who took me to a hotel where I had a good meal. Don't worry, take your time eating. Liu Huaqiang smiled and said nothing more. After a few minutes, Zhang Hao was full. I leaned back comfortably in my chair, lit a cigarette, and instantly felt more comfortable. Without waiting for Liu Huaqiang to speak, Zhang Hao thought for a moment and said, there is nothing I don't know about the 8 major cuisines. There are at least 100 dishes in each cuisine. Find someone to take notes and I'll tell you the secret recipe in detail. Upon hearing this, Liu Huaqiang was surprised. There are 8 major cuisines, each with more than 100 dishes, adding up to more than 1,000 dishes. Just kidding, there are no more than 200 kinds of dishes in the hotel. Brother, we don't need so many. How about this? Let's start with the dishes we have in our hotel. If the business gets better, we can consider introducing new dishes. After all, as you know, there are too many dishes. At least 200, not one less. Without waiting for Liu Huaqiang to finish his words, Zhang Hao interrupted him. He is here to make money, not to listen to other people's advice. Well, okay. After a brief hesitation, Liu Huaqiang chose to agree, completely to give face to Zhang Hao. Fugia, bring the menu over here. Okay, Brother Chang. Liu Fugui quickly got up and walked out of the room, but soon returned with a menu in his hand. Zhang Hao opened the menu and saw that there was not a single dish he didn't know how to cook. I'll tell you and you'll write. To make twice cooked pork, cut the pork belly into pieces and cook it with sliced ginger for 5 minutes. Remove from the pot. Then slice the meat. Add chopped ginger and garlic to the pan without adding oil. Stir fry until golden brown. Add the fermented black beans, green pepper, red pepper, dark soy sauce, and salt. Stir fry for 1 minute and remove from the pot. 3 hours later. Zhang Hao looked at the menu and recited the cooking methods of each dish by heart. Then he explained the recipes of a few more dishes, making a total of 200. There are 50 vegetarian dishes and 150 meat dishes. After saying that, he took a sip of drink to quench his thirst. Liu Huaqiang smiled and said, "Brother, I'm sorry to have troubled you. If business is booming next time, I'll buy a new secret recipe. Come, let's celebrate in advance. Cheers." After saying this, he picked up a glass of white wine. Seeing this, Wang Fugui quickly picked up his glass and was about to toast. Zhang Hao waved his hand, "Forget about the wine, just pay. It's getting late and I should go home. I have to look after the kids tomorrow." Liu Huaqiang was stunned for a moment, then agreed with a smile. "Okay, I'll transfer the money to you right away." Then, Zhang Hao received a transfer of 5 million. When I saw the 7-digit balance on my bank card, I suddenly felt happy. Looking back, I haven't had this much money for half a year. With this money, I can improve the lives of my wife and babies. That's it. I'm leaving now. Wait, brother, I'll arrange for someone to take you back. 10 minutes later. Zhang Hao arrived at the dormitory door. I pushed the door open and walked into the dormitory, and saw my 3 roommates busy with their work. Zhao Yang is exercising his arm strength with dumbbells. Da Zhuang is sitting in front of the computer playing PUBG. Xiao Hua was lying on the bed playing League of Legends mobile game. Although they noticed that I had returned, no one spoke. "Are you all deaf? You didn't even say hello when you saw Dad coming back." Zhao Yang said casually, "We expected you to come back a long time ago. You stayed up with Goddess Su and chose to sleep with a few of us grown men. Could it be that you have a preference for men?" Xiao Hua, who was playing games, immediately added, "Haozi, you are not going to be a father just because you are so happy." Roll. Zhang Hao said unhappily, "That's because my wife and I have only met for a few days and we are not familiar with each other yet. After a while, even if you beg me to come back, I won't come back." After he finished speaking, Zhao Yang's voice sounded with a smile. "I beg to differ. After you have shared a bed with Goddess Su for a while, you will definitely want to come back every day, but you won't be able to." Zhang Hao was a little confused. "What do you mean? Haven't you heard that saying? Married men are most afraid of January 31st, and married women are most afraid of December 1st. What's the meaning?" Zhang Hao was confused. Although I didn't understand what Zhao Yang said, I knew it must be very evil. Because he looks honest, but he has a restless heart. Zhao Yang explained with a smile, "First, separate the dates, and then understand them backwards, and then you will understand." Zhang Hao frowned slightly and muttered softly. "Separate the dates and work backwards. January 31st. December 1st. Oh tilde." Zhang Hao suddenly realized and looked at Zhao Yang with contempt. "Your thoughts are too evil. Will you be able to have fun in the future? Do you have a girlfriend? You have a lot of bad ideas. Hee, birds of a feather flock together. I learned this from you. Go away, and don't be naughty with daddy in the future." Having said that, Zhang Hao lay directly on the bed. Thinking about having just earned 5 million, he couldn't wait to share his joy with Su Yuyan. "Honey, are you asleep?" Zhang Hao sent a WeChat message. But before I received a reply, I heard Zhao Yang speak. "Oh, right, Haozi, did Nun Mihu tell you? There will be a baseline test tomorrow morning. They are supposed to test the students' academic performance. We are almost graduating, so we can be sure that some people won't get their diplomas. Also, there will be a sports meet the day after tomorrow, and after it's over, we'll have the May Day holiday." Zhang Hao's expression changed slightly. I looked at the calendar. Tomorrow is April 30th, and the day after tomorrow is May Day. Although you can choose whether to attend the sports meet or not, you probably have to attend the baseline test. Ding dong tilde. The WeChat notification sounded. Chapter 26. Who is this beauty? Upon hearing the voice, Zhang Hao quickly looked at the phone screen. The message was sent by Su Yuyan. I'm not asleep yet, husband. When Zhang Hao saw the word husband, he smiled knowingly. However, the next moment, the message was suddenly withdrawn. Beep tilde. A new message notification sounded, I'm not asleep yet. Zhang Hao replied with a smile, although you withdrew it, I have seen it. Wife, I just returned to the dormitory. I sold the secret recipe before I came back. Guess how much it sold for? How many? 3 million. Is this true or false? Of course it's true. If you don't believe me, I'll transfer 1.5 million to you. Turn around. Zhang Hao smiled and directly transferred 1.5 million yuan. Although he had just received a huge sum of money, he was not stingy with Su Yuyan at all. Because she is the wife and the baby's mother. When it comes to money, there is no you or me. When Su Yuyan received a remittance of 1.5 million, she instantly lost all sleepiness and looked surprised. But then he transferred the money back to Zhang Hao. Zhang Hao frowned slightly. Wife, why did you transfer the money back? Because it's your money and the amount is too large, so I can't take it. Wife, you are too formal. Why should we differentiate between each other? What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. No, I haven't spent the 50,000 I gave you last time. I'll pay you back when I have money. Wife, I'll be angry if you say that. Don't be angry, I'm just speaking from my heart. Let's stop talking now. I have to work tomorrow. Good night. Wife, I have an exam at school tomorrow morning, so I can't go over to take care of the baby. I'll go over there at noon. It's okay, there's a babysitter here, just focus on the exam. Well, now that we have money, should we buy a car first or a house first? Let me save money first. I will also find a way to make money and try to save 100 million in half a year. Zhang Hao's expression changed slightly, and he was suddenly deeply moved. Wife, you are so kind, but the delay of making money should be left to your husband. Who just said there is no difference between us. Zhang Hao was slightly stunned. Su Yuyan, okay, it's getting late, go to bed, good night. Good night. After the chat, Zhang Hao put his phone next to his pillow. Thinking of Su Yuyan, he couldn't help but smile. It can be seen that she is not a materialistic girl, otherwise she would not have returned the 1.5 million. Although she came from a wealthy family, she must have received a good education since childhood. While thinking, Zhang Hao suddenly thought of something. System, is it there? Host, what service do you need? How much do I owe you? Just deduct it from the card. Okay. Beep beep. The text message alert sounded. Zhang Hao opened the text message and found that 270,000 yuan had been deducted. Super medical skills owe 90,000. Super martial arts skills owe 180,000. Exactly 270,000. Ding, congratulations to their host for successfully repaying the loan. Their host's bank card balance is detected to be 2.72 million. Do you have any skills you want to buy? No. Zhang Hao decisively refused. This system sucks. After finally making some money, he actually asked me to buy skills. Will he not stop until the balance becomes negative? Okay host, if you don't want to buy it, forget it, the next one will appear randomly. Zhang Hao did not respond. He watched some short videos and then went to sleep. The next day at 11:30 a.m. After finishing the exam, Zhang Hao walked out of the school and stood on the roadside waiting for a taxi. Looking at the end of the road, I eagerly hope that a taxi will appear soon. Although there is still one day left to teach the baby to call daddy, I want to see the baby more. It has been 16 hours since last night, which is the longest time I have been away from my baby. I wonder if the babies are crying? Are you all full? He should be drinking milk now. The adorable faces of the 3 cute babies appeared in Zhang Hao's mind, and he suddenly became more anxious. Finally, a taxi came into view. Master, go to Begiyuan Community on Chenghua Avenue. Okay. The driver stepped on the accelerator. A few minutes later, Zhang Hao arrived at the door of his house. Boom boom boom. I am here. The door opened and the kind nanny stood at the door. Xiao Zhang, you're here. The nanny greeted him with a smile. When she saw that Zhang Hao had nothing in his hands, she couldn't help but ask, why didn't you buy any food today? Aren't you going to set up a stall? No more. Zhang Hao responded with a smile. You can make money with secret recipes, what's the point of showing off? I believe that it won't be long before Shanghai Hotel's business will become even more prosperous. And by that time, Liu Huaqian would not be the only one coming to me to buy the secret recipe. If I sell all the secret recipes, 30 million should be no problem. The nanny smiled and nodded, without asking any more questions. Don't stand at the door anymore, come in, I just made lunch, and the babies just fell asleep after drinking their milk. Zhang Hao walked straight into the bedroom. Even though the babies were sleeping, I went into the bedroom. When I saw 3 cute babies lying side by side on the bed, as adorable as porcelain dolls, the corners of my mouth couldn't help but rise. My babies, Daddy is rich now. From now on, I will let you live a better life. I don't know if it was because they heard Zhang Hao's voice or understood what Zhang Hao said, but the 3 babies who were sleeping soundly smiled with the corners of their mouths raised. Zhang Hao smiled when he saw this and watched for a few minutes before going to eat. It was soon afternoon. Rui Rui, call me daddy. Jing Jing, call me daddy. Zhang Hao patiently taught Erbao and Sanbao to call dad. I haven't done anything else since the baby woke up, except teaching him to call daddy. But no matter how we taught them, the second and third babies would not bark, and could only make some strange noises, such as par par, da, etc. The nanny beside her laughed. Xiao Zhang, you can't be too impatient. After all, the babies are still young, and they've only seen you for a few days. You have to take your time with this kind of thing. I understand, Auntie. Zhang Hao nodded with a smile. When he was about to continue teaching the baby, he saw the nanny suddenly cover her chest with her hands, with a look of pain on her face. Auntie, what's wrong with you? The nanny endured the pain for a moment, and then her painful expression relaxed. I'm fine, I just have a sudden heartache from time to time, it's an old problem. Zhang Hao frowned slightly, his expression becoming serious. Auntie, let me take your pulse and diagnose you. After saying this, he came to the nanny. The nanny smiled in surprise and asked, You can also treat illnesses? Zhang Hao nodded and reached out to touch the nanny's wrist. Boom boom boom. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Zhang Hao's expression changed slightly. He glanced at the clock on the wall. It was not yet 5 o'clock, and it was not time for Su Yuyan to get off work. Who could it be? The babysitter smiled and said, I'll go open the door. I'll go. Zhang Hao walked straight out of the bedroom. Go to the living room door and open it. Just then, a sexy beauty came into view.